Euphigenia Doubtfire, dear. I specialize in the education and entertainment of 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 entertainment. Candy and the sun. Could you make me a woman? Showtime. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run daggers for you, daggers for you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run go pop 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 some neurons. I know you're used to Lucy, dinner dinner din, such a shunt. It tastes good, such a shunt. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Surprise. Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop doesn't mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop. Just a little bit of nicotine. The sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. A little bit of nicotine doesn't mean that they don't love you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run daggers for you. When I'm in charge, daggers for you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run go pop 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 some neurons. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run such a shunt, such a shunt. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop doesn't mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop. Bum 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 bum. Just a little bit of nicotine. The sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. A little bit of nicotine. Dinner dinner din doesn't mean that they don't love you. Entertainment of entertainment of entertainment of entertainment. When I'm in charge. Entertainment of entertainment of entertainment of entertainment of entertainment of entertainment. Don't fuss with me. It tastes good. Dinner dinner din. It tastes good. Bum 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 bum. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run such a shunt, such a shunt. I'm in charge. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Yeah. Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop, mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop, candy and the sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Dinner dinner din. Just a little bit of nicotine.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another DaraChat. My name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short. Cause some people, alright, I'm sick and tired of this. First graders out there saying Daramouthe. Alright, I get you punk kids, but I'm gonna take you down with the actual saying it's Daramouthe. Alright? Let's just get it down from there, okay? Bunch of kids out there acting like adults, like, oh look at me, I could pay for a house though. I can't say words right.
Are you talking about me?
No, no, unfortunately.
Because I fit in that category, I feel like, a little too well.
Does that mean you're always looking forward to going to Walt Disney World when you get the chance? All right, boys and girls, let's get on the tram.
Ah, you know me too well.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a tram. It's a monorail. I should have to correct myself before a bunch of Disney people get on me and say it's not a tram. It's a monorail. Okay, I understand you. Now get off my lawn. But anyway, welcome back, good sir. How are you?
Good, buddy. Good. Thank you for inviting me back. It's been a little while. I always enjoy your show. You do some good stuff. I appreciate it. Appreciate the invite.
Well, I mean, you're a busy guy yourself. I mean, let's not joke here. You're a dad. you're a content creator, you're a filmmaker, whatever you want. You're about a man with 1,000 hats. And like, okay, what ones do I have to wear today? Okay, one, two, where'd the kids go? Ah!
It do be like that sometimes.
I wasn't much of a kid, but I'm pretty sure there were some days like, where'd that boy go? So, but yeah, no, it is again. I do try to bring people back on, but I've run into a thing where if you don't talk to somebody in a long enough time, they kind of get leery of why you want them back on.
Mm.
Because there are some people that like to invite back on, but it's like as time goes on, you kind of get there's so much distance. It's sort of like trying to ask them back on when they're so busy with their own stuff. It's sort of like trying to. It's like who is it? Sisyphus, right? Sisyphus rolling the boulder up the hill every time, and then it roll back down. You have to roll. It's like that sort of, except I'm not cursed. So there's that.
Well, that's good.
Um, yeah, that's true. But anyway, I mean, so yeah, I mean, you are one of the were one of the third railified people, but I mean, you're going off to do much more different things. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah. So yeah, Sean and I over on Third Relify, we just kind of linked arms at one point in time, and we're like, hey, let's let's work together and let's do some things, and we did, and we kind of worked with some other people, and our group kind of expanded. It was great to see, and I had a lot of fun.
Mhm,
I mean, one of the biggest streams we did was over on Robert's channel, the Washcast, which he's kind of rebranded as well. We
mhm,
did the election night stream over there. I think we went 6 hours straight, nine
mm,
hour. I can't remember. And yeah, a ton of views. Had a lot of fun. We were breaking everything down. A couple of us were calling states before the news were, because I know
mm,
my state of Georgia, and I was like, let's look at the counties. Nope, I know where it's heading, and
mm.
it was fun. It was something to do, but we've kind of Sean's kind of gone his direction with Third Relify. He's going live every single night instead of just Saturday nights when we would go live. So
Yep.
he's got his thing going.
Mhm.
Robert's kind of rebranded the Washcast a little bit and doing some
Oh.
different things. And
Mhm.
so politics really burns you out.
Oh,
And so I
yeah.
think we all just kind of started stepping further and further away from that. And so,
I wouldn't say that much for Sean, though. He's still kind of
oh, he's got to come up with content though. Dude's streaming every single night. So yeah, he definitely talks politics still, but it's not as big of a thing as it used to be for him. But
right.
but yeah, so I just kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, I wanted to be another voice on the more conservative, right leaning side to spread news and facts out there because the
Mhm.
mainstream media and everybody else is so left leaning, and we are just so oversaturated in that. And not
Mhm.
only that, they will put the facts to the side for the feelings and put their agenda out there significantly more um, than the actual facts. It's like, oh well, Chris Pratt being on Bill Maher is a great example the other night. I don't know if you saw that or any clips from
I
it.
heard about it. I heard about
Okay.
it,
I mean,
yeah.
he's like, why wouldn't we praise either side for doing something good?
Mhm.
If Trump and RFK Jr., because he's specifically talking about RFK because he's family now,
Oh, wow.
and he was like, if they did good and
Mhm.
they got like all the deadly and dangerous chemicals out of the kids' foods, why wouldn't everybody celebrate that? Isn't that
Yeah.
something everybody can get behind?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he is a great voice of reason. It made sense, and I just wanted to be that because people want them to fail so bad they'll overlook any positives, and I
Oh,
hate
yeah.
that. So now that that wave of the election is kind of over with, and everything's been oversaturated politically and everything, um,
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I'm a little burnt out on it. I tried to change the format of my show a little bit because I said I got to get back to my priorities and
Mhm.
and my priorities being, of course, my own personal health, my
Yeah.
family and their well being,
Yeah.
and my filmmaking. My filmmaking is something that I've wanted to do my entire life. I never wanted to be a podcaster, influencer, content creator, whatever this thing
Thing
is.
is, yeah.
It was supposed to be a filler just kind of between working on my films and a way to continue to be creative and a way
Yeah.
to interact with people and network with awesome people, which I have. I mean, look, I'm on your show. I mean, what the hell, dude? I mean, awesome show,
Yeah.
awesome guy. So, you know,
Here's your
and
20. No.
it,
Oh, sorry. That one
make
hit.
sure the money's there. I don't want this check to bounce like last one.
Uh,
But, but it was fun. And I said, you know what? I've got a finished film on my computer that I have not edited, and it's been there for almost a year.
oh,
And I'm not. It's not my film. I'm the
oh,
cinematographer and the editor.
mm,
And so my buddy, who I work hand in hand with, it's his
mm.
film. It's got his little girl in there,
Aw,
and he's like, "Do you have anything edited yet? Do you have anything edited yet?" And I'm like, "No." So I'm
yeah,
like, I got to get back to this because there's too many people involved in that. This is just me.
yeah,
But in that, there's just so many people involved that I'm
yeah,
like, they're all waiting for me to get finished or to get something out there.
mm,
So I got to get back to it. Not only that, but I've been talking about this probably the first time I ever came on with you that one of the things we're working on is our first feature length film. Everything we've done is shorts for the most part.
yeah,
And I'm writing our first feature length film and it starts with me. I'm writing it. I'll give it to him. He'll criticize it, critique it, play with it, give it back. I'll do my thing and give it back. And we'll go back and forth for a while.
right,
But I can't even get done with it. I can't even get to it because I'm not done with this other project yet. So
mm,
I'm excited about it because one, I've made some contacts and we may, try to get some funding and some producers involved because we're in our 40s.
yeah,
It's kind of a Hail Mary thing. Like this is going to be our first feature film. It's going to be a Hail Mary. We're going to go all out. It's
yeah,
going to be low budget, but something
yeah,
we can actually accomplish and actually do on our
yeah,
budget with our crew. Maybe hire a couple of people if we have the budget for it for certain roles.
right,
Um, there's just so much involved there. So we're going all in. We're going
mhm,
all in on this thing. So I really am excited about that one and I want to work on it. He
yeah,
and I both have films that have won awards, short films. We've won awards all over the world
wow,
for multiple things, writing, directing, editing, you name it. So,
mhm,
and some of our actors have won awards for acting and it's exciting
mm,
and I want to get back to it. And I almost, it's weird. Once you get out of the habit of something, you kinda lose that mojo a little bit that you had going.
right,
So getting back into it and playing around with it is something I'm looking forward to. I haven't yet since I stepped
mm,
away from my show. I
yeah,
said I was gonna take a week or 2 off and just focus on, me. I'm kind of
mm,
on my own little health journey kick right now,
yeah,
like a pound and a half away from being down 60 pounds already. So, like, I'm rolling, I'm doing the gym, I'm doing my thing, trying to be the best me I can be.
right.
And then I'm gonna get back to my editing and do everything like that. And I'll probably pop on some shows from here to there because I do miss it. I mean, I love hanging out with these awesome people, awesome people.
Yeah, then he's like, "Yeah, can I get some more money on that,
Yeah,
please?"
it's another 20 there, buddy. Uh,
Oh, I'm already poor as it is.
yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, so life is crazy. You gotta, make the main thing. And filmmaking's been my passion since I was a kid. It's something I always wanted to do. So I got to get back to it. I wasn't doing me any justice by
Yeah,
putting that off. So that's really what pushed me away. I saw enough people that were like actively, I mean, Handy News, you, Sean, just so many people that were like really growing and getting bigger in that kind of, unbiased to right leaning kind of perspective kind of thing where it's like we're gonna
right.
bring facts over agenda
Uh,
and, popular. I mean, dude, you're almost at 1,000 followers on Rumble. I know you. I don't care. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
and I like my coffee black. What's the point? No. Well, but I mean, for me, that's basically how I came for this sort of thing. Look, I don't. That's the thing that gets me is like people, for content creation, do what you will. Don't listen to me about what to make or whatever. But for me, it was not like because you already had enough people doing entertainment. You already have enough people doing politics and all this other stuff. And I'm like, where, where is just people just sitting down and talking about whatever? Where is that? Why do you have these content creators who are so big and massive, but they only bring on other content creators that are either a within their niche or someone who can upbring their status or a friend? And there's nothing wrong with the friend stuff, and obviously upbringing your status is one thing. But it was sort of like there's a missed potential. And it's sort of like this was This was sort of an overtime ordeal because I stream playing games or whatever, which was that thing. But you kind of just, if you know it's a thing you want to do and you want to do it, and it excites you and you want to do it every day because you know what it can bring, the unlimited potential it could bring.
Mhm.
Um, because this is unlimited potential. I'm not constrained by one side or the other. I'm constrained by people who can speak English, but that's a big, big bowl. All right, that's not that's
For
a
now, but the way
for now.
technology is going and all this AI stuff, you can have them on here going, and it can just interpret it right then and there on screen or something. We're not too far away from that.
That's true, but we're still not there yet. So
Yeah, yeah.
until that time, but it's sort of when I heard that you make that amounts, it was sort of, well, of course, it was kind of sad because you do your Monday mayhem things like night or morning. I can't remember which one.
Mhm.
Um, but it also is understandable in the way you describe it. Like, look, I was in this thing, it was great, but it's not what I really want to do. And that's how I feel about doing the show is this is as an adult, right? You know, the whole cadence is you to go to college, get a job, get married, that whole spiel, right? You know,
Okay.
whatever it may be, it has to be a high paying job. No, you lost that. Um, my point is though, no, don't. No, he's already caused enough trouble. But the point of the matter is that after a while as an adult, you don't know really where you're at. Like you have to do like a trial and error things in order to find your place, right? Or where you belong, whatever it is. And so for a long time I was doing like CompTIA plus stuff and doing this and that
Mhm.
stuff to just try to find what would get me. And when I started this thing, I didn't know where I would end up because I was just like, okay, because you know you always hear those people, right? Oh, person in chat. Oh, what can I do to be a content creator? How do I even start? Blah blah blah. And they'll say, well, get a camera, get a mic, and all that stuff. Blah blah blah. Well, I did that. I already had a mic, a little like ball Samsung mic,
Yeah.
and some bad non not hey Brittany, non focusing camera, and so that was the start of it. But the more I once I had started having people on, like Zoro, who's the first one, and then sort of like Sean, Gina, and more people, there was a beginning realization like this thing right here feels like it's the most important thing in the world missing, and all I can see is politics, gaming, and entertainment news. But there's nothing reaching. There's I mean I've met people. I have met people who try to bring on people as guests, but
Mhm.
when it always come to them, it's like it's always such a difficulty. But for me, I'm like, I don't know how it's such a difficulty. I'm just like I just ask somebody in the DMs like, I tell them here, month, and then all this stuff, and they can say no, and that's fine. Believe me, I've had many no's, so be prepared for that. But it's like I now have probably the biggest pool to draw from if they say yes to. But again, there's that whole time distance, right? The longer you don't ask them, the less likely they may be able to come back on, all that stuff. So, but it was just trying to find that thing because you've had it since you were a kid. I didn't
Mhm.
know, and that's the tough part is like as an adult, you're not given. Your parents can't give you the direction that you can't. They can't give you the directional answer you want because they don't know. They've already done their part. They've
Right.
already lived their life. You've already done that part for yourself. Your kids have to find that path for themselves. Hopefully in the right way, because you don't want those headlines. But it was just trial and error, and then I found it, I was like, "This is something that is unlimited in what it is." It's just it's not gonna be the most popular thing to watch. It's not gonna get the views, it's not gonna get all this stuff. You can see gamers out there who have thousands and thousands of watchers, while they're live, whatever. I'm doing something that probably only gets me I don't know how many watchers watching, but the point of the matter is it has more for me, it has more importance than gaming, than politics, than anything combined because people, to some degree, are getting hurt. People who didn't I've had people on who didn't think they'd ever go on a camera before. They were so anxious till the day of, and then all of a sudden, after probably an hour or so being on the show, they were done. And it was like they made it. Where are the creators doing that? So that's just me though.
I think that's great. Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan's got the largest podcast in the world, and all he does is have people on and have conversations. I mean, he has
Uh,
people on the left, the right, middle, crazy, the strangest things that
mm,
they'll possibly talk about, and people enjoy that. The thing people really enjoy, and this is my nod to you, sir, is genuineness,
mm,
authenticity. It's like, and to bring politics back into it for just a second, I mean, that's one of the problems I think the left had so much in this last, presidential election is like everything was manufactured. Nothing was authentic at all.
mm,
And so whether you liked Trump or you liked RFK Jr. or you liked Vance or you liked whatever, you couldn't deny that they were just blurting it out. They weren't, this wasn't practiced and they didn't have all this speech prepared and they
mm,
weren't sitting in a room where they were already given the questions so they can come up with it. They were just authentic. They were genuine. Again, you might have hated them, but you couldn't
mm.
knock that part of it. So when
Yeah,
people can sit down like this and just have genuine conversations about whatever, people enjoy that because we miss that so much. Because again, late night TV shows, people aren't having genuine conversations anymore. If they are, it's between people of only a certain group.
yeah,
You look at Greg Gutfeld, number
yeah,
one in late night, and he goes on Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon's ratings go up 50% on that one show
yeah,
just because he finally had someone that was not partisan with his side. And
yeah.
when you look at what's his name? Colbert, forget what they said. I think they said like 5 Republicans went on the show out of all the shows he ever had.
Uh-huh.
Out of that, everybody else was libertarian or liberal, center or left or whatever. Hardly any on the right. It's like
Yeah.
you can't have honest conversations with that. They are all in a little bubble, and that sucks because I used to like Colbert and I used to
Mhm.
like some late night TV stuff because I'm into the entertainment stuff.
Yeah.
I used to want to be able to go on one of those shows and have fun with, Craig Ferguson or have fun with Conan O'Brien or
Yeah.
whoever and talk about the films that I'm working on and the people I'm working with and tell jokes and crack up. Now you can't tell jokes because you got to walk on eggshells. Chris Pratt said some stuff the other night that every single person would agree with if they had basic common sense. And he's already getting people dragging him for not disowning,
Yeah.
certain political figures. And it's like, let's just have honest conversations. Let's just talk. Let's just be humans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and since you brought up Craig Ferguson, that's sort of when someone asked like what was sort of like what my show is, I was like, well, it's just a free flowing conversational show, and then it's sort of like, well, it was sort of kind of inspired. A part of it, other than talking to other people, creator or not, but other part was it like it was a cross between Whose Line Is It Anyway and
Mm,
the Craig Ferguson Show,
mm.
because there's a bit of improvisation to it, and that's I think for some people improvisation is unsettling because it opens you to a space where you're so well blank basically, and you have to like with scenes from Hat right from Whose Line Is It Anyway, they had to come up with something that was in relation to was on paper, but for me that show in itself, right? That game, Who's Line It the Scenes from Hat, that's probably the barest, maybe there's the, greatest hits, but the Scenes from the Hat is probably the barest you can get on the, um, uh, improvisational part of it, because you are there on the stage and you have to come up with a spot. All of improvisation, but that I felt was the most, point of it. But then you come to the Craig Ferguson Show, and I mean, like, he had celebrities on. All right, that's the main point. All these talk shows usually just have celebrities on. You rarely get somebody who's not some form of celebrity, which I don't care.
Used to rarely get them right.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's been a thing of within the content creator sphere. You hear stories of people who they need to be having a certain amount of followers, or you need to pay them some amount of money, or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't care about status because your status means nothing at the end of your life. What does the status of a king mean when he's more dust in the wind than anything else? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. So what is the status of a celebrity to anything else? I mean, it's great that, and this kind of leads into like, I know a lot of people. I just as a side note, I know a lot of people, when a celebrity passes or whatever, they mourn and they celebrate. But my thing to it is like every year I hear the same thing over and over again. Oh, this is the worst year ever. Do you guys not hear yourselves when you say that? Not the general you. Because it doesn't make sense to me. People die every day. A celebrity's dead last year. Does anyone remember James Earl Jones and when he died? That was last year. And now people are on to the next thing like, "Oh, man, it's Ozzy Osbourne," which is great, whatever, but it's just everything to some degree ends when you are no longer able to be around to be there for it. That's with everyone. There's no exception. So any of that status stuff doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care. And I've been through the rough rocks of this stupid content creators fair, and it's just dumb. It purely is just dumb. I'm just trying to do this thing that's more basic in humanity, and I get shite on for all this sort of stuff. But regardless, the point of it doing kind of in the Craig line is that he was improvising on most parts. He had a robot. Obviously, he had a robot to bounce off of, but he had something that you didn't see with um, other talk shows at the time. Now, you could say maybe Jay Leno, but I'm not so sure. But I really think out of all the talk show hosts that you have now, or maybe in the past, you had Craig Ferguson, who Scottish. He'd been in shows. He'd done drugs. He'd done all that stuff that would probably make somebody blush to make an angel flirt with the women on the show. Um, but the
I
point
was
of the
gonna say he did that pretty good too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did that pretty good. Well, it's not Darth Vader. It's James Earl Jones, Ozzy, and Sean Connery. But Sean Connery died years before James Earl Jones did, so it's not that.
James Earl
Um,
Jones was the voice of Darth Vader.
yeah, but he was Darth Vader's is the Darth Vader's a character. It's not. I never mind. I'm gonna get lost in that one. Um, but yeah, it's just
Well, Ozzy's a character in a sense.
that's true. But he didn't put on a mask for it. Well, okay, maybe that's psychological.
Alice
Welcome t
Alice Cooper talks about it all the time. Alice Cooper's saved and a Christian and
Yeah,
everything, and he says, when I go on stage, that's a character. I have on the wicked looking makeup, and we're
yeah,
doing all kinds of stuff. He said that's a show. It's pretend. He goes, but at the end of the day, that's a character.
yeah,
I'm me, and I'm right with the Lord and everything. I'm not crazy like that. It's just a
yeah.
character. It's for show. So yeah, Ozzy definitely. You know,
He still probably carries around that snake though, so that's a little inference right there.
yeah, it's
Maybe
pretty cool. Pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, Alice Cooper's pretty cool. I missed a show. He was touring with Rob Zombie, and I was like, "Oh, I want to go," and I missed it. Rob
Ah,
Zombie is probably the best concert I've ever seen. I've seen him twice. Once with Marilyn Manson, and Marilyn
mm,
Manson really kind of bombed that year, but I think he was like really messed up on drugs, and he's gotten off of them, and he's gotten better. So yay.
yeah,
But then I went and saw Rob after that with it was Rob and Static X and Powerman 5000 and Mudvayne. And I was like, this is an awesome show. Awesome show. So yeah, I was like, I would have loved to have seen Alice Cooper though. I may still catch him sometime. He ain't done yet.
yeah. He certainly isn't done, but I know he does. Isn't his show mostly just a music radio show, or does he do actually talk to people or something like that? Because I've only heard him like one or two times in the past.
Alice Cooper?
Yeah, Alice Cooper.
Yeah, dude's like a performer, man. He runs around on stage doing his songs, and he's got all the pyrotechnics, and he's got monsters that come out and stuff too, I think. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Oh goodness, my throat would be out by the end of that night because I'm not gonna yell all night.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I'm definitely, and you can tell I'm definitely not a vegan, but boy,
Uh,
seeing Rob Zombie's little skinny behind running across the stage all night with all the energy he had and keeping it, I'm like, kind of want to be a vegan now. I mean,
yeah.
if I can move like that. Wow.
Well, you didn't see after the show though, because they had to take him out on a stretcher because he. Okay, he's good. He's good. Yeah, well, yes, he was Mufasa as well. He was a bunch of different characters. James Earl Jones did a lot of
Oh
different
yeah.
voices. He
He
was
was
in
great.
Sandlot. He was the blind guy in Sandlot.
Sandlot. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that's a great way. That's a that's a really great way to talk about society. A black man who's blind,
Yeah.
and he's not Ray Charles. Um, Duct Tape says my best concert was Roger Waters' The Wall concert in Potsdamer Platz in
Dude,
1980.
I bet that was awesome. I would have been 6, so wouldn't have been able to catch that one, but dude, I've seen a lot of the videos of, well, Floyd without Waters and then Waters by himself, doing the tunes, and I love Pink Floyd's music. Love Pink Floyd's music. My wife says, "They scare me." I'm like, "You just don't get it. Smoke this and you'll get." No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Honey, let the kids stay in the car. Let's
yeah.
go inside and let's partake for
Let's
a moment.
let's do this. Let's go on this ride. Pink Floyd's great. Love Pink Floyd.
Well, I've always heard that their song "Dark Side of the Moon," if you can line it up, if you line it up right, it actually goes along with the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, man, people have a lot of time in their hands. Um, oh, he was also in AT&T commercials. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was in. You do see a lot of Samuel L. Jackson though in those Capital One card
Capital
commercials.
One.
That's right.
What's in your wallet, mother? Okay, yeah.
I'm taking these motherfucking cards and these motherfucking days. Oh goodness. But yeah, I think people, if given the opportunity, there's some bad actors out there. There's no lie about that. There are some bad actors out there. But if people are given the chance, and these are not people who are experts in anything. These are everyday people. Oh, that's where I think like Theo Vaughn, right? If I'm sure if you've heard of his show, where he brings on, I've heard he brings on like um, the trash guy and the lunch lady and all that, where he brings on people who do on the daily life. And that's another part of this equation too. Is like you see a lot of content creators speak on the content of all the different parts of it, but you never really see them bring on people who have no following, no content creation, no whatever. And that's a big untapped pool of, because I've always said in the past, like, if I did a million people, that would be content for the rest of my life because there's just so many people and then coming on multiple times after that. There's just so much with that. And like you said earlier, it's sort of like something that's a bit lost. And that's why I do it, because it's just not it it's I don't know. It does feel like it's a lost art in its own right. It does feel like a lost art.
It is, not only because we're not seeing it in the late night shows, but we don't know how to talk to people anymore. I mean, how often are you gonna, how often do you see people or hear about people disregarding phone calls and sending a text instead? Like, we've lost so much ability to communicate with each other. Like, it's
Mm.
almost like a shock and awe thing to see people actually do it. Like, two people having a conversation, especially two people having a civil conversation. Holy
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
Imagine that
Yeah.
in 2025. And they didn't start with asking each other what their pronouns were, and no one's offended or anything. It's like,
Mine's if, so you better watch it. No. If is a great pronoun because it just changes on the spot. It's like, wait a second. If, exactly. Now you got it. What? No, that's my brother.
oh, wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Got you in
But
rare form tonight.
that's right. I'm a raring to go. But well, that and having you back on. But again, it's like I also understand. Yeah, page out to my homies, yo. But you're gonna get a lot of crips saying, "What the motherfuckers you doing?"
I gotta be careful there. There's a lot
Yeah,
around me.
there's.
I got some that work on my film sets. I think they're in the crib. I'm like, hey, all
Mm,
right.
yeah.
I need you to wear blue tomorrow. Not him, boss. Oh, okay. Never mind. Don't. Not red either, right? Hell no. Okay. All right. My bad. My bad. Just neutral colors.
Not this one, but it for me, it's probably the thing at the end of the day that I want to do because there is something there. There's something there at the end of the day that says, "Keep going." It's not much now, but there's something there at the end of it that's gonna be more important than you realize. And I can't and there are days where it's rough, there are days where I'm just, maybe I don't wanna do it,
Hmm?
but then I realize that I have the best unlimited potential anywhere because I'm not tied down to any topic or any individual or any religious aspect, whatever. I had people on who I disagree with. I've had people on who don't like the AI stuff and whatever. I've had on so many different voices where we do have disagreements, but we end up still talking to each other after that. It's this ability to reach in and pull out and say, how was your day and all that stuff, and then go from that jumping point, that jumping board or diving board. Sorry, if I say jumping board, people will be like, "Well, you might want to be careful of that." But it's this diving board of where can you go with this, and there are a lot of people who can't do it. They just are, and I understand it. But isn't that a wonder when you can bring on someone like that who's a challenge in the essence of conversation, and you can keep the ball rolling. You can at least try to dig into the conversation and find what interests them enough to at least get them to speak. Because I've had a few of those people, and show that it is possible to have a conversation. It doesn't matter what you know per se. It matters will you come on or not. It's that simple. And Nightmare says it also becomes inappropriate to just go up and talk to random people. Well, yeah, because they think you're gonna want something from but I mean, it's not it's an understandable thing because, again, we all hear that saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover," but we all do anyway
Mhm.
because, guy in hoodie may come and try to kill me and my family. There's that. So it's a defense mechanism. But, yes, there is a point where you can have people who are very widely and this isn't a political thing, okay? We're all biased. We're all human beings. We're all
Sure.
biased.
Gonna be. Yep.
But the point of the matter is are you willing to jump the gun and get into that? Or are you willing to take a breath, step back, and say, are they attacking me? Or is there something in this communication field I'm missing? Because you don't have to agree with the other person. I
Mhm.
don't have to agree with what many say, right? This isn't about I have to agree with people or whatever. This is about can we find some common ground to
Mhm.
just sit here and talk? Like,
Mhm.
not get into hands or that sort of thing. I mean, I've already seen enough of those carnival cruise clips enough to know that there are a lot of people who want to touch hands and not in a good way. Um, just like maybe people should get off the boat. Levistra says, I talk to people all the time. They usually don't reply back, scream, and call police or file restraining orders. Well, you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Been there.
Yeah. Look, if they say hot potato, okay, that doesn't mean you play hot potato with them. All right, that's the thing.
Look,
Hey, Bill, what's up?
it's so hard to tell who's down for a good time. That's all I'm saying. LaVistra, I get it. It's like, hey, maybe. No, okay. And then Nightmare, can you throw Nightmare's
There you go.
comment back? Okay. I saw this one come through and it was such a good point because it is you can broadly apply that in so many different scenarios. Not only is it more difficult now to just make friends and just randomly talk to somebody without, again, the guards going up and concern and everything, but it in the world where we're trying to find mates,
Mhm.
someone to date and potentially marry or whatever, have relationships with, it's like, you're almost scared to make that first move and talk to somebody because, what if it could blow up into something huge? And then everybody's got, these cell phones, you bust it down. It's like, oh, look at this creep talking to me. Look at this creep. I've been going to the gym a lot lately, and I see phones out every now and then, and I haven't had anybody, fortunately, going around there. Oh, creep looking at me, but people are like that, and
Yeah,
you risk so much by just putting yourself out there
yeah.
in real life. This is a little bit safer. And maybe hopefully that helps get more people into the conversation, but it really, to Nightmare's point, and yeah, it's just I don't know. It almost feels like now with social media being so big, we're almost so antisocial in real life
Mhm.
that we're kind of now these lonely individuals that are glued to our devices as the means of any kind of interaction whatsoever. But
Mhm.
real interaction is so terrifying that we don't know how to handle it or even how to be the one to start it. Especially, I mean, again, I'm a guy, so it's, the guys, the fellows that are out there trying to, approach the ladies or whatever. You're going to be a creep. You're going to be a stalker. You're going to be, whatever. You really risk
Mhm,
so much.
mhm.
And to that point there, I mean, too, how do you make friends? You find common ground, and you can't do that unless you have a conversation.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
there
it
you
starts
go.
somewhere.
A nightmare that my nightmare says, "Mayhem gets me." The comment just earned a sub. There you go. Like a like a dad on TV. There you go. And
There
yes,
you go.
Brittany says making friends is hard, which it is because again, there is a form of transaction, and this goes in the relation part you were talking to. Is like there are transactions that are just part of life. You're not going to get rid of that, but
Mhm.
it becomes more so with different forms of transactions. Give this for that, all this stuff. Now, marriage is obviously there's going to be a compromise because you are two people, different people, right? And you have decided to, well, I don't know if you know how it is for people who aren't in the religious aspect, but for those who are, um, you know, you kind of know that there's going to be a form of compromise, and you come at it, making that commitment. And some people they make a long life out of it. Some people don't. And the sad part about it is when you have those people who um, are in that religious aspect who do try to make a long life out about it. You hear about stories about some of them divorcing and all that stuff, and it just like what becomes the point then? Because here's the problem: we can talk about it, we can point to the stats charts, the charts and the stats of and all that stuff, but we're really not getting down to the main point of why men and women aren't really talking to each other on that scale. The issue of is, have you sat down with them yet? Have you listened? And I'm not talking like listen to glaze over to give them an answer. I'm talking just listening and knowing that you may not have an answer for this, but at least for a one speck of time, they got heard. There's gonna be times where there's not gonna be an answer at all. And you have to learn how to deal with that because as human beings, we're trying to discover the secrets of the universe. And the real secret of the universe is that we're not really being in awe and wonder of it. We're just trying to figure it out. Um, Powerful Brittany says, I think the lockdowns, it was before then. Well, it wasn't just the lockdowns may have kind of
It amplified it.
it amplified it, sure, but it was always there.
Mhm.
The point of the matter is though, as like you stated, is like part of it is technology, part of it is all those the content creators fair. You see all these videos
Mhm.
about the relationship stuff, and you see like the whatevers. No, what is that show? Whatever podcast, right? The whatever
Oh,
podcast.
yeah, those guys, yeah.
You see all that stuff, and it's just like, how does that help at all? We're battling each other like we've got something to win on either side, but I'm telling you, both sides lose at the end of the day because we don't sit down and talk with each other. I'm the guy here. You're the girl. Here's the stuff at, right? Not everything fits into the forms of what we've grown up with. And I'm not speaking on like the trans or all that other stuff. That's a totally different concept. The concept of it is as time goes on, things change within a culture. The culture of what used to be back in the day of Jesus Christ is not the culture you're going to find now. But there are going to be psychological points that will be sort of similar because we're human beings and we haven't really gone past our biases in that manner. But I just don't. You can have all the whatever podcasts, you can have what all the Cobra Tates, whatever it is, but you're really not getting to the heart of it, and that is sitting down with these people and either that's that's what I thought about one day doing a podcast where you have a group of unmarried people, man and woman, right? And you have a group of married men and women, and you get their different perspectives going not at each other, but hearing about it on all different sides because the perspective matters to hear on well, to hear on, but also to understand that yes, it's not going to be the same for everyone, but it still is possible to be in a relationship or at least to the marriage field because I think that's also had its shortcomings too. But I digress. You were gonna say something. Sorry.
I don't know. There's been a few things cross my mind that I was gonna say. I don't know where I'm at now. I don't know. Yeah, I was. It's funny because I was having a conversation with my wife the other night. Every now and then she'll ADHD it and like really get on these like tangents and rabbit holes and everything. Hey, Gina.
Yeah.
And she'll really like do these deep dives and talk about like how Solomon's temple was built and books that aren't in the Bible because wasn't it
Enoch.
Paulina Luna or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on Joe Rogan talking about stuff. She's like, "Oh, I like that," and she's hot. I'm like, "Yes, she is." You got good taste, baby. Hey, my wife could appreciate a good-looking woman. I appreciate that about her. So, but you know, she was like, "This is interesting," and she did some deep dives and she's talking about all this and that. And I was like, I said, and she's like, she asked me, she said, "Do you think that the elites, the governments, the whoever, do you think they know the reality of, like Jesus Christ and God? And like, do you think they know the actual truth to everything, but they keep it hidden from us so we will always be in doubt and all this and that?" I said, I believe they keep all kinds of stuff secret from us. And the biggest thing that they do, and the devil was great at this, is dividing us. I think if we could all, like you're saying, find that common ground and get over all these stupid things that divide us. You like this and I like that. Well, we can't be friends. No, that's just stupid. Whatever. We would build our own Tower of Babel against the elites. We would be miles and centuries ahead of where we are now, scientifically, developmentally wise. All the progressive stuff that progressives want, we'd have a lot of that, and we'd still be able to conserve our society as it is, as the conservatives want, if we just work together. But the point, I think, is the mayhem. It's the division, it's the distractions, it's anything to keep us going at each other. And it's so anti-productive.
Well, and again, it's just playing our biases against each other because we all experience the same sort of not way of things, but I mean, we all have the ability to experience cognitive dissonance, and we all have the ability to experience all the different fallacies and stuff that kind of go along with what um, our minds are. And the point of me is like I don't marriage is a communication and compromise. Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's not always an easy thing to do because it means you kind of in that essence, it means you kind of have to humble yourself a bit,
That's right.
which is almost difficult to do if you haven't been in that position of humbling yourself. Because humbling yourself, it's sort of like forgiveness, right? You want to forget, you want to forgive that very person that did this awful mean thing to you, but all that grudge and anger and all that stuff says don't forgive because they'll just do it again or whatever. The point of the matter is that forgiveness is not about the other person per se. It's about yourself in the sense of release. At least is from through my life is that the same way with being humble is that being humble means you have to. It's not about humiliating yourself. It's understanding that you don't know all, which is a good thing because otherwise you'd be Mister Answers, and your wife would be like, "Okay, can you answer this?" Like, "Honey, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I want to go to bed," and all that stuff. But I just, yeah, those things like being humble and forgiveness, those are things that are hard for many of us because it means having to kind of shedding the armor a bit. I guess I don't know if that's the right word to say.
Well, we're
It's
selfish. We have a magazine called Us. Us. It's all about us.
and people, right?
And it's look, we social media has amplified that as well, because what do you want? You want your likes, you want your follows, you want your interactions. You check it every day and like, oh, I didn't get any views on this one. Oh, I need to do better. It's such a thing that you hunger for, this kind of acknowledgement from people. Maybe not you so much, because I know you're very modest about your follows and almost being at 1,000, by the way, on Rumble. I think I said that already. Just saying, 1,000 on Rumble. Go follow. But no plugs here.
Buy
But
now, $9.99. Buy now.
Sunday. All right. But Monster Truck Rally. So yes, I I don't know, man. We are so about us. And again, from a religious aspect, that is what the the devil wants, is for us to be so self-centered and all about us that we forget to love each other. Whereas the Bible, when you open it up, I mean, Jesus talks about, loving your neighbor, loving your parents, loving each other like you love the Lord, and
Mm,
helping each other,
mhm,
and submitting yourself to a greater power, being God in that sense. And if that's not
mhm,
your, anybody's thing, that's cool. But I think we all have to acknowledge, um, we're not gods. There is something greater out there. And we
mhm,
have to be able to submit ourselves and our egos and everything else to that.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
we have been so ingrained that you can't do that. That it's such there's so much peer pressure to want to make everything about you,
Mm,
that it's one of the hard things to do, is to let it go. um to let that, like you said, let the armor down, let the shield down, and be vulnerable, and
mm,
be submissive. It's so hard because men especially have a lot of pride. I say that, but now in this modern age, women are starting to have significantly more pride and will not back down or be submissive. You tell a woman about being submissive, then they start snapping the fingers and everything, like, I'm not going to be submissive, no, all this and that. It's like, okay, hold on, no, it's okay to be submissive.
yeah.
Again, I hate to bring, faith so much into the conversation
You're
necessarily,
fine.
but,
You're fine.
the Bible says, husband, when it talks about your bodies, it tells husbands, submit your bodies to your wives, wives, submit your bodies to your husband, meaning that I know what's going to be best for you and you using your body. Don't be out there on OnlyFans and stuff. Okay. And vice versa, because we're there for each other. We're not there for ourselves.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing that's really cool about the Bible, one of the things that's cool about the relationships there, is the way that men and women traditionally see love.
Mhm,
It says for husbands to love your wives, and wives to respect your husbands. Not
mhm,
love, respect. Because
mhm,
men see respect as love. That's how we speak. Because it is a prideful thing a little bit with men and their pride. And they want to
mhm.
be acknowledged for the things that they do. We do speak different love languages. And
Yeah.
so, again, we've lost that in having conversations. And now women have more, ego about them sometimes than even men do.
Yeah.
And men are being more submissive now. We see, but the beta male trend. Everybody talks about beta males and everything, right?
Mm.
Or Pedro Pascal, whatever you want to call it. Uh, just saying.
He still gets women to him all the time though. So I mean,
Yeah, but,
I
the
can't.
the gayest dudes in the world do. I mean, that's, it is what it is.
He
Um,
probably
he
does.
he ain't hooking up with him. He ain't hooking up with him.
Do you know that for sure?
I would be willing to bet that he ain't hooking up with him. And if
I
he is hooking up with him, it's to keep an image up. Because
yeah,
let me tell
well.
you, brothers, I ain't getting that vibe off of him. I'm sorry. Sorry. Not only I think he's a beta male, I think he's a beta, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not hating. Do your thing. Just be you, bro. Just be you.
Chris says as he's trying to be himself, but anyway,
I'm just
anyway,
trying to find myself.
Levister says I humble myself all the time. I'm never wearing pants live on stream. TMI for those
I
who
don't
don't
have
understand.
pants on either. It is also like 90 something degrees
That's true.
outside, and in
Yeah,
my house, the air sucks on this side of the house. So it's like
yeah,
probably 80 degrees or 80 plus in this room right now. And I'm wearing a hat, keeping all the heat in.
yeah.
Urgh,
He's got that home improvement grunt going on. Um,
yeah. That's right.
It'll just be the rest of "Huh, ha, ha, ha." It's not gonna go well. Levish a boy that news for you. I'm a horrible influencer. I don't really, for me, I don't consider myself an influencer because influencer, influencer almost feels like you can influence stuff, but you don't need to be an influencer for that. You just need to be someone who's willing to understand, and I think that's the issue. Oh, look at that. Oh, Sean has come and he gave $1. He said, I miss you, Chris. No one's gonna replace you like a sweet man you are.
I miss you too, man. Gina's a lot nicer to look at than me, but yes,
Oh,
she's too.
yeah, but I mean, she does post her stuff on OnlyFeed, so I mean, kind of, she kind of throws herself out with that one. So you were talking about all the love and respect and the woman stuff, and then you're like, but you have Gina, so that's kind of just like kind of kind of throws that one out there.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
There it is. Yeah, made the wall again.
Hey, Miss Slutty Pie, how are you? Thank you for coming on yesterday, Slutty Pie, even though it was so an interesting thing I learned is if you're gonna be on mobile, um, and you're gonna join Rumble Studio, they make you download the Rumble app or the Rumble
The
Studio
Rumble
app,
Studio app. Yeah.
which I don't know if they do that for StreamYard or other, but that seems kind of one-sided. So I use Brave Call. I don't have to download anything for that. So thank you. Um, what was it? Of course, Gina says men need to lead more, which is understandable, but also this comes back to having a conversation. I truly what you did, you had the part right earlier. Communication between men and women, Gina. The problem of it is listening to that regard. This isn't like going to your therapist and saying, "I hear you," sort of thing. No, it's sort of like, okay, what's going on, and then you go from there. It is a interpersonal relationship between you and it's that rawness. It's that rawness we were talking about earlier, where you have to be raw and vulnerable with your other person because you've committed, right? You've made the commitment, and some people kind of give that up later on along the way. But people, once you get to marriage, people have committed to saying, "I'm with you for the long haul," and that's an easy thing to say at the moment, but that's not an easy thing to live for the rest of it because you are living with someone who has a different mind. Uh, yes, I will look at it later. Thank you. But you're living with someone who has a different mind than yours, who has a different personality than yours, and you have both decided to make a life out of it. And that is not an easy feature. And that's okay. That is okay to say. It is not an easy thing. Marriage is not an easy thing, but it was never meant to be an easy thing. It was meant to be a I don't want to say team building thing because that makes it sound like a business thing. No, it was meant to be a life building thing because of that challenge, because of that. And again, you're going to see a lot of those stories like where men don't want to do it, and then you have women who don't want to do it because they aren't willing to put up with their end of that compromise, which is always just the hard part because compromise means, as we stated earlier, being vulnerable and being open. And you do have a lot of stories where men and or women will use that vulnerability to their benefit.
Yep.
And that's the bad part about humanity.
Yep.
We will use the weak points to get what we want. And there's not much you can do about it other than being a person who can kind of detect that better. But how do you do that? You talk, you chat, you converse, because it's not gonna come easy, that instinct. Levister says, "I told him to shut up all the time. Women lips move, but I don't hear anything." Harsh. Okay, based. All right. We got some bases going. On some level, we all just want to be appreciated. Yes, we all want to be heard. We all want to be understood, and we all want to be heard because some people know what it's like not to be seen. Some people know what it's like to live like life like you're in the dark. Some people live like what it knows to be abuse and all of this stuff. The stories of children and whatnot. Point of the matter is though, when you find that person you're able to open up with and it works, and it's in the return thing, it's not perfect. But once it works, it's a garden. And those are not easy to keep going.
That was beautiful.
I try. I for 4 score and 7 year ago. Pedro Pascal respects a good nail polish. Yeah. Okay, sure.
You know
Whatever.
it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm,
Uh,
girlfriend.
hello, internet husband. Okay, now we need to have a serious conversation. This is an intervention, Gina. I'm glad you came. This wasn't about. You know what? This was not about Morning Mayhem anymore. This was about you, Gina. We are
About
here
you.
for your intervention, and
It's about you and Sean.
yeah, you need to let it go. You need to let it
Let it go.
go. No, no, that's not the kind of let it go. Levistra says, I don't know what we are called, influencers, streamers, content creators. I'm just a naked dragon who can find his pants naked. Or egos. Egos are good, but if you read the label on it, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't eat egos again. Make your own waffles. Um, People listen to respond, not to communicate. People need to learn hope. But people need to learn hope to
Ow.
listen to receive. Oh, how? People need to learn how, because I was confused by she's hope. I don't know what that means. Hope to listen. I hope to listen all the time, but here I am. Um, Streamlabs, you download the app because it's not browser based. Okay, so Streamlabs is that like that too. Okay. Of course, marriage is easy. Two women left me because they couldn't handle my crap. Well, as I say, well, but again, that comes the other way around. You would probably be saying that the same to them as well. Like that's a two-way street.
Hey,
Always
funny
is.
story, Levistro. I had my ex-wife left me to be with another woman, so it was kind of a two-woman situation there, in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it was like, dang, and then like, hmm. An opportunity has
Yes,
appeared itself.
yes. That door was quickly shut, but yes,
Oh.
it was tried,
Ah.
attempted.
Pat Mary says, for a second I heard wife building. I was like, oh boy, we're talking about no, 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 no. I was trying to find the right word. It's not team building, it's life building. Life building.
Mhm.
Well, I can see where the turn was. Life building, wife building. All you need is one letter change and you're there. That's what it's
Yeah.
life building. Tooth Entertainment. What up, Tooth? What up, Tooth? The man himself, who is also a star in a movie. So I got a filmographer and an actual performer. Look at that.
Look at there. Look at
You
there.
two, you two should talk about working together. Anyway, Pine Forge. Howdy, howdy. Hey, Half Pine. Glad you could stop beating that hot metal with a hammer. Um, Blasphemy. Don't worry about it. No, Rumble Studio is browser based, so needing a mobile app is, yeah, it kind of is. Unfortunately, it'd be nice if they had like a desktop version, but we'll see if that ever happens. Um, cut out of the picture because of scissoring. Tale as old as time. Song as old as rhyme. Not Beauty and the Beast. Um, you wanted to sing Frozen. I'm gonna sing Beauty and the Beast.
Have at it.
Never such a strange. I can't
Hey,
remember the
since
rest of it.
since Sean showed up and we're already kind of doing it and going off the rails here,
Yeah.
we were watching the classic the other day. And to me, this is like one of the last great Disney princess movies they did was The Princess and the Frog. I was
Yeah.
like, that was really the end of it for me. And then Frozen came out. I was like, that was really good. But
Yeah.
other than that, all of them have been really kind of more miss than hit. I was like, they
Yeah.
just don't have that magic anymore. But we were singing the songs and stuff, and I was thinking about all the New Orleans songs and Cajun stuff, and I was like, yeah. Now I want a beignet.
Gina says, I don't need an intervention. Well, unfortunately, you're on OnlyFeeds. Kinda, kinda have to.
Girl, you
Um,
go get your money. Let him drink his haterade. You go get your money.
girl, don't be hating, okay? A live search. Yeah, I know. I was told that. Dealing with tech problems. Oh, that's not fun. Alaska Man Jeff. Um, the stream is turning into a musical. No, but I can't.
Can.
It can no. Well, when Disney's gonna come after you, well, let them try. What's a good Disney song that'll go with that?
They ain't got any money to come after us anymore. Those guys are going broke.
Yo, mama don't got the slack. She's going broke. What? Going broke. What? Um,
Okay.
Alaska, I would offer assistance, but I barely make my own stuff work. Wow. Well, I mean, you do. You just beat it with a hammer, and somehow it works.
I don't want to know what we're talking about. That sounds violent and painful if
No, he's
applied
a
incorrectly.
he's a blacksmith, so that's what I'm talking about. Usually,
Okay, I'm a white one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Why? Why am I here? Lavistro, my marriage success plan. Me, where you want to eat. Wife, I don't. Me, find McDonald's. Wife, does this dress make me? Me, yes. A woman like honest and assertive men. That sounded very caveman. I think cavemen will work for you. Me like woman. Woman like me? Me leave. I know how to drop beats. You talked to Slutty Pie in the chat. I was dropping rhythmical rhymes yesterday.
Mm.
Probably at something like no, not High School Musical. No, we we already saw what happened to Zac Efron. He went beefcake. All right, he went, but the movie was good. The movie he was in was great. He just went beefcake. So it was a good movie. Phrasing there. Never, never. You can take that hot metal and beat it all you want. Um,
Mm.
but anyway, it is the top of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, what that means is that I set aside some time for me and my guests to promote our stuff. Now, sometimes if there's someone who just they don't create content whenever they can say some words or whatnot. But because this man here is his own content creator, movie film writer, he's a person who does whatever he wants, except call fire in the theater. Uh, I'm I'm gonna let him go first, and the floor is yours, good sir.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing. No, I'm not really doing the show anymore, guys. You can still follow me at My Morning Mayhem because I'll still be pretty active on X. Um,
Mhm,
uh, but yeah, the link tree's out there. I'm still going to be pretty active on X. I'm taking a break from the show.
mhm,
Don't know when I'll be back. Don't know if I'll be back. I'll probably be on shows like this from time to time,
mhm,
but just taking a break from it to focus on the filmmaking. I don't know if I've got it in the link tree or not. I'll try to put it in the chat.
mhm,
But a link to my filmmaking stuff that's on Rumble and YouTube and
mhm,
everywhere out there. But yeah, I mean that's my focus right now. Mayhem Productions. Everything's centered around the Mayhem. Mayhem Productions. Again, I'm an internationally award-winning filmmaker. I work with other international award-winning folks, and we've really built our craft and learned everything the hard way, going out there and making the moves on our own, funding everything on our own.
mhm,
Um, and built a following and built, got our hands all calloused up and everything. We learned how to do it. And so now we are forging ahead with our first feature-length film here before too long. So I'm working on the script on that. And
mhm.
I will be talking about it on this channel, on my channel, and I'll probably hit up, Dara or whoever and be like, hey, can I can I come on your show and talk about my new movie that's coming out? Because that's
Yeah,
what you do, right? Call in
yeah,
favors.
yeah. Hey, so I got this movie right. Let me guess. It's gonna be your best movie ever. Like, dude, the last two may have not been that, but that's what's gonna be the winner.
Absolutely. It's just like every iPhone that comes out every year. This is the best iPhone ever. Well, it better be, or else you just dropped the ball. Like, why would what'd you do? Add another camera? Huh? Huh?
Yeah. Yo mama is what it sounds like. Um,
Ooh.
Last man Jeff. Yes, but of course, again, his link tree is there below, so you can follow him just on X because the man knows how to talk and when to talk, and that's how you know he's so good. That's how you know
Mm,
he's so good. Um,
that's what
and
she
then
said.
F Pine says, "I will be hot metal. Thank you very much. Ordered a new tool today. Chinese cheap Chinese garbage. I'm gonna make it better." Well,
Mm.
how about that? He's turning from Chinese into American. It's not gonna work with that song.
Make
Um,
Chinese great again.
there you go. Same actually. I took a break from my first channel to focus on my second channel. Gonna be going 50-50. Well, you know what they say about going 50-50. It's 50-50. Um, anyway, that's like really that's all you can come up with. Hey, you try coming up with something better.
I'm
Um,
thinking 50-50, half in, half out. Like you're half in a dude and a dude's half in you. Which way are you going? You know what I'm saying?
I
That's
was gonna think
gross.
more.
That's gross.
I was gonna think more of like putting half and half in coffee, but
Wow, no, I went all in. I'm sorry. I've been hanging around with Sean too much, is what it is.
yeah. Well, I mean, at least you're not dressing up like a hot dog like Sean. That's when you know you're not. It hasn't passed you yet. Oh my gosh, Mayo, Chris, what's happened to you? Look, he said, um, he said, you know what? Just try it on, see how you feel. And I said, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I'm like, no, no, that's not gonna be it.
Mhm.
Oh, don't do that. Is there still discussion about making feature films in vertical format and chopped in pieces for lower attention spans? I think that's to you.
There are film festivals that specifically only do vertical films, so I know it's still like a thing.
Mm.
Now as far as the chopped into pieces, like reels or shorts or whatever, I don't know if that's a thing or not. It's not my thing, and I'm sure there's an audience for everything, and that's the great thing about the kind of society we have. The capitalist kind of society. As long as there's a market for it, there's an audience for it. You do it,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm not opposed to ever shooting. So I don't know about I'd ever shoot anything vertical, but
Yeah.
you look at films that come out today and they're all nice widescreen and fill up your screen and everything. But then you got some that are still 4:3,
Yeah.
like when what's his name, Zack Snyder released his Justice League. It was 4:3 because there was just as much vertical stuff happening as there was horizontal stuff. And so
Mhm.
it's an artistic choice, and I think that's fine. Just the vertical thing's an artistic choice too, but you're very limited on where you can show that stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Just it's not a me thing, but I'm sure somebody's pushing for it for some platform or something.
They're like, "Hey guys, we got to do more vertical." And they said, "Look, just get on a ladder and you'll be fine." Yeah, of course, Gina did it. That's what she said. Good lord. And Third Railify says he's under attack. No, you're not. Stop using that quartering line right there. All right, your channel's not under attack. Uh,
And
and
he's
Alaska
not
Man,
under attack. This is nothing
yeah,
but love.
he's the only under attack. The only under attack he'd be under is his kids, and that's a different story right there. Jungle Jim Dad is what it'll be called. By the way, to get out before we go on to anything else, from my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or whether you're on the YouTube side, doesn't matter which side you're on. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much
Too much.
appreciated. Um, because not only does it help, my processor was a little hiccuping there. Not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators want to be. I mean, let's be honest, there are a lot of content creators that are so modest that they don't want their stuff seen. I'm like, that's a lie. I know it's a lie because I'm one of them. No. But it also helps in having other people on, like Chris, like Theredify, like Gina, like Alaska Man Jeff, like I did say Third Railify, didn't I? I should have just said Sean's name for some odd reason. Let's see who else I got. Half Pine Forge has been on. Um, Slidey Pie has been on. So Bulldozer has been on. NGM may be on. Duct Tape, but it's hard to get a contact. Fatal Investing has been on. So many people have been on already. Over 200 various guests, creator or not. And that's why I do it. Because at the end of the day, it's about having conversations with people who are and aren't creators because there's more to the creator life. And to be honest, being in the creator sphere, budget. Fudge 'em all. I don't give a rat's behind about the sphere because I enjoy doing this thing. And I don't care about having to fulfill all those stupid little things that make my stuff seem more or whatever. I am just enjoying the ride because at the end of the day, I'll get to say I got to meet over 200 various guests. I didn't I didn't have to do all the sponsorships. I didn't have to do all the requirements. I just did this thing because there was a need for it to some degree, and you wouldn't believe how many people are worth talking to, even if they don't believe they have something interesting to say.
Hmm?
That right there is the truth. Oh, and I gotta remove that. All right. Thank you for that. Facts, Morning Mayhem. There you go. Getting the facts in. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. Also for Gina already did that. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. I'll need you to post my other link for my Proton thing, if you wouldn't mind. Oh, she already did. But god dang it, Gina's on the ball. Um, but
She's the
anyway,
she's the bomb.com, yo.
and she's pretty too, which makes it that much better. There's my link. That's my link down below right there. Whether on the Rumble or YouTube side, you can click on it. It'll get have my Twitter X. It'll have my email in it. I do have a link to Discord, but it's mostly just for DMing. I may try to turn the server I had made ages ago into something else, but it's more of just a try to ask thing rather than anything else because I want to try to see if I can't make a central place for all the information for Rumble Squared, but that's a whole nother set of skills I do not have. So we'll get there eventually. But seriously, Chris, I need your professional help with my lighting. My new camera hates me. Well, did you at least ask it kindly enough? I mean, I know you ask, but sometimes you throw the Canadian a boot in there, and it could be taken the wrong way. I'm just saying. Um, where is it at? She just posted. Where'd she post it at? I swear I just saw. No, no, not there. Where is she just oh, here it is. So, a while back, yes, I am in the creator program until the end of the month. I have decided that because of all the stuff with it, I'm just pretty much there's just too much stuff going on that goes against the flow of what I do with my show. So I'm walking away. And it was just a bonus at the end of the day, no big deal. But for me, I'm also part of Proton's partner program. Now, if people don't know what Proton is, it's Proton Mail, Proton VPN, all that stuff. Security, privacy, all that things. More privacy. Sorry, they're more about the privacy stuff and security as well. Point of the matter is that a while back I was doing the Proton Mail, and this time I'm doing Proton Pass, which is their password manager. I use pretty much all the tools they have, so I have first-hand basis with it. But at the end of the day, Proton Pass is their password manager, and it allows you to do a few things. One of which is allows you to use an alias email, just like with Proton Mail. Proton Pass allows you to alias email, which means they can make a email for you that you can use for whatever you're entering an email in for, and that email will send directly to your actual email address, but it will if that company gets spammy or whatnot, or whatever it may be, you can actually turn that off, and that company can't send you anything anymore because they don't have your actual email. So there's one way of that. They have integrated 2FA, the two-factor authenticator. I almost got that wrong. And all that stuff. Again, the link's down below. You can go, you can check it out. The going using the link gets you a discount, but at the end of the day, yes, I can make some money on it, but it's not about that. It's about promoting a benefit that yes, I use, but I would like to promote to people out there as well because I use it every day and it is helpful. It is very especially if you've got a lot of platforms you're on and you need something that will autofill all those passwords and stuff you have. Proton Pass is pretty good for that. So look at the link. They have more stuff to talk upon in there. But at the end of the day, just promoting it as a benefit. Whether you take it or not is up to you. But I appreciate all the same for listening to me for that. So thank you very much. Let's see. Better catch up on the chat. Nope, that was wrong. Cool. I'll take Morning Mayhem. I'm going to be a Dragon Corn star. Somebody wants Dragon Corn movies for cash. Well, there's life out there. Half Pine. I probably just missed it, so I'm sorry. What kind of movies have you made? Because I have an idea for a movie that's never been made before. It's never been made before. I don't know how well you're gonna get that one across, but there you go.
I'm all about it. I have made my films have been uh my favorite genres, which are like the gangster films. I've made gangster films, I've made comedies. I just made my first horror a couple of years ago. That's been my biggest it's been my biggest one that's gotten all the awards. And I've worked on other films that were action drama, more gangster comedies, all kinds of little things like that. So it's kind of my niche. We are the short film that I'm finishing now is like a really deep drama, like really really deep. Make a grown man tear up kind of deep, especially a father. And the feature film that we're working on is a mixture of drama and suspense and maybe a little bit more. So I've done a little bit of, I'll actually post the links to my channels for my film making stuff in both chats so you guys can get to them. If you go to the YouTube one, I will also have in there linked other films that I've worked on that aren't my films that I didn't produce.
Right.
And other projects I've been part of. But yeah, I put them in both chats so y'all can check them out. But yeah, that's what I've done. But yeah, if you want to, run an idea past me or whatever, holler at me.
And he actually means that, so you can yell at him with all caps.
Uh,
Almost passed this one, but this is by Casual Gaming. They said, "What advice would you
Yeah.
give someone starting out or interested in making their own films?"
So the same thing for starting your own podcast or anything else. Just, just kind of do it. And by going and doing it, I know that's like the simple answer, but
Mhm.
truly, there's never been a time where we haven't had more information, how-to tutorials, and everything at our fingertips than ever before.
Mhm.
Everything I know about filmmaking, I've got a couple of books I've read through, but most of it I found channels on YouTube. Sorry, Rumble, but YouTube that were like, here's how you shoot with no budget. Here's how you shoot with this camera. Here's how you use this editing software. Here's
Mhm.
how you do proper lighting techniques. Here's and then you actually start finding channels that have legit cinematographers for films that are out there doing tutorials. Shane Hurlburt's a big one who did like some of the one of the Terminator movies and some of the
Nice.
other movies. I mean, he made the DSLR cameras huge during that time, and he's moved
Mhm.
on to other stuff too. And then you've got David F. Sandberg, who I think is great. He did Lights Out. He's the filmmaker behind Lights Out,
Mhm.
Shazam, Annabelle Creation. He's got his own YouTube channel. He still posts on his YouTube channel how to make short films and how to make little shots and stuff. The dude is passionate about that. And
Yeah.
so you start finding these things and you just start learning from them. That's the only place I ever learned was YouTube, and then going out there myself and putting myself out there and being vulnerable because I didn't know anybody. And I just did a call to see if anybody would come. And so I had my first film was 6 actors, 6 people, some of which have been in high profile films like Hunger Games and some other projects with like Denzel Washington and stuff. And I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But they came to it, they auditioned, I casted them, and the only crew I had was my best friend and his girlfriend at the time, who neither of them knew what they were doing. And he had the mic way too high above everybody's head, and the mic was jammed into 2 rolls of wrapping paper cardboard,
Uh,
the little rolls that were different sizes, so you could actually slide them apart from each other a little bit because I didn't have a boom pole yet. So, I was running and gunning. I was figuring it out. Now I've, built up all kinds of equipment over the years with
yeah.
lights and stands and cameras and lenses and learning where to invest the money and how to invest it properly. But just educate yourself first and then go out there and do it. Find other people in the area that want to do stuff. Cause I promise you, everybody wants to tell their story or be on camera or something. I don't want to be on camera. I don't like this. I'd rather be behind the camera 100%. I've been interviewed by online magazines and legit magazines and stuff for some of the projects I've done.
Mm.
And every time I do, I'm always trying to shine the spotlight on the cast and crew, somebody else. I don't want it on me. It ain't my thing.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't crave that part, but there are a lot of people that do. And if they know that you're making a film or they know that you're interested in doing something, people are going to latch on. Not always the best people, but
Right.
somebody's going to reach out.
Mhm.
And you're going to find people. There's no question about it. And you're going to learn a lot of, what not to do with people.
Oh, yeah.
But my partner in the filmmaking, it's funny because we both watched the same YouTube channel and learned
Mhm.
from the same YouTube channel before we ever knew each other. And we kind of bonded on that. And what's funny is I kept watching and I kept learning from others. He actually was influenced by that channel to go to film school, and he went to Full Sail University, graduated valedictorian of his
Wow.
class and everything. And now he and I make films together. And it's funny because he's super sharp in some areas and I'm super sharp in some areas where he's not. So we
Yeah.
had this really great balance. And again, I didn't go to school for it. So just learning from people who are willing to teach is huge. And there's plenty of channels out there. So get educated,
Oh, yeah.
invest in yourself. That's the
Yeah.
best investment you can ever make. Invest in yourself, get knowledge, and start buying little equipment. I mean, even just your cell phone camera. These
Yeah.
cameras are 1080 or 4K now. You can do
Yeah.
anything with them.
Yeah, just trial and experiment. Try to build that interest. And Vicious, I'm sorry. Can you say all the things? All the things. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Let's see. For math, is it math thing? Well, life doesn't math at times. Make sure. Oh, thank you, Neurodivergent. It's gonna be beep 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 beep. People both. Oh, you're too funny. All right, there's that for Rumble. YouTube one horror. Oh no, what kind of horror? Okay, so he wants to know what kind of horror you did.
Mine was more of like a psychological thriller horror.
Mm.
I like that. It sits with you a little bit longer than the gore stuff and
Oh yeah.
whatnot and the jump scares. Very, very, very few jump scares in my film. It's more of a sit on it and let it kind of marinate and mess with you a little bit to where when you cut it off. I used to love like The Ring. When you cut off that movie and you were done with it and the old school phone would ring, or if the TV went to static, it would bring back memories from that film and you're like, holy crap. With mine, it deals a lot with well, we'll say shadow people. And so, when you watch it and then after you turn it off, you go to bed at night, you might start questioning, is that something over in the corner or am I just seeing things? That movie messed with me. So that's what I've made, and I hope it does. Cool
I
story behind that film, but I won't share that on this show.
Right. I always like horror seems to rely mostly on the gory stuff. You usually see what like Freddy and all Jason and all that. But I'm more like I I like the ones that do kind of make you think, the thriller. I think they call that a type of thriller, suspense and all this stuff because that came to like when I went to go watch the movie Megan, right, the first one.
Mhm,
They did bring out an unrated version, but for me, the one they brought out was there was very little blood. It was more of like it more of played to the imagination because imagination, people forget the imagination
mhm,
can play a big part in filling the holes. And filling in those holes with your imagination is a lot worse in a
mhm,
good way than it is just show and tell. It's sort of like when people do the whole sex scenes in a movie. It's like you don't really need that. You just need to show that is going to be the thing that happens and then you disappear off into the day after because we don't need to see it. It doesn't make sense to. One part of it is because it's very uncomfortable for the actors themselves, and two is because you don't need to see that. If you wanted to see that, you'd be watching something else that doesn't require on-screen theater in a rated R version. You would see the XXX version, which you can find almost anywhere. The point of the matter is, though, is that I do. If I'm going to watch a horror movie, I would rather watch something that's like Megan or the Five Nights at Freddy's sort of thing,
mhm.
rather than watching Freddy Krueger and all that stuff. Because gore, I don't. Gore is just like I want to throw up rather than continue watching the movie. You want people to watch the movie. Half Pint says this is a comedy. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Noobs, but it's slightly similar to that. It's not about gaming though. No, he's never seen that. Jeff man, Alaska man Jeff says the real problem is in making your own content is distribution and monetization. Most people who are getting started fail because of this.
And if that is your primary objective,
Yes.
especially in getting started, you will fail and you kinda deserve to fail. Um, you like Dara was saying earlier, I mean, there's gotta be, like, a passion behind what you're doing. And it is an investment, just like starting a business. You're going to invest in it, you're going to have a loss, you're not going to be profitable right off the bat. You've got to find your footing. We've never made money off of a single film that we've ever made. I say that one of our films is on Tubi, and we did get distribution there and on Amazon Prime, and it's not a full length, it's only 40 minutes, so I don't even know why he put it on there, but he did.
Yeah.
John did. But yeah, our feature length film, I mean, we've been doing this since, I think we worked on my first film, in 2015, so it's been 10 years that we've been
Mm,
building up to this moment, to make our first feature-length film. We've got others in the community and in our local community that
mm,
have never made a short film, or they've made one, and they instantly jumped into making feature films, and they're getting the distribution on the Tubies or the third-rate, streaming platform things or whatever, but it's nothing. It's nothing. But me and him, we've put in enough that we're like, we're going to do this. So
mm,
we've made connections and contacts. I was very happy through him to kind of find out of a guy that I actually interviewed on my channel, who's a multi millionaire
mm.
from real estate and
Wow.
owning the studios that Marvel filmed all of basically phase 1 and 2 in here in Georgia. So, and he sold those and made millions of dollars off of that and tried to invest in his own studios and got hung up in legal battles and stuff. But the
Ah,
dude loves films and he's got money and he's fairly local, and me and him are buddies now. So, I mean, you never know,
yeah, it's true.
and you never know who he knows. So
And they're like, so can I just borrow like a 10 or something?
he, I forget what he did. I think he was, he, he gave these guys, I think it was like $10,000.
Uh,
He gave him like $10,000 invested in it. It might have been more than that, but I think he gave him $10,000 for their film, which is a feature length film. And me and my buddy John, we watched it and we're like, wow, that was not $10,000 worth of film,
Mm,
because I think my biggest budget's been $900 is the most
wow.
I've ever spent on anything.
Yeah.
And John's probably spent just a little over a grand or maybe close to 2 grand. But if we had $10,000, $50,000, I mean, it would be nuts,
Yeah.
what we would be able to accomplish. And so, yeah, I mean, you gotta crawl before you can walk.
Yeah.
People who get out there and say, "I'm gonna make a feature film and I'm gonna be profitable today," you're not. You're not,
Mm.
unless you just happen to get lucky. Again, he goes by the name on YouTube. FYI, if you ever want to look him up, David F. Sandberg on YouTube. His
Mhm.
channel is called Pony Smasher. Pony Smasher. Don't ask. I don't know.
I'm just glad I didn't have my little before it.
Yeah. But this dude, him and his girlfriend, now wife, they lived in a flat together over in I remember where they're from, like Switzerland or something. Um, and they would just make films together. She was an actress and he would make the films and do the effects and everything. And he just did these over and over again, just kind of like what we do. Never turned a profit, never did anything, put them on YouTube. And then one day they made the short film with no dialogue at all. It was
Oh,
called Lights Out.
lights
And
out.
it went completely viral. Millions, millions of views. And they reached out to him and said, "We want to make a feature film out of this."
Huh.
That was it. From then, I mean, the dude got pulled in to make his own feature film, got to know James Wan from the Saw franchise and everything, and Bloomhouse and everybody, and they pulled him in to do Annabelle Creation, which is part of the Conjuring universe, which is James Wan's creation. So he got pulled in to do Annabelle Creation. And then
Wow.
after that, James Wan was also tied to, the Aquaman and some of the other DC stuff, brought David F. Sandberg on to do Shazam and Shazam 2, which, I didn't think it was that bad, but whatever. But I mean, you 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 gotta understand, I mean, this dude just got a lot of it's luck, but you gotta be out there first. Success is when opportunity and preparedness meet. If you're not prepared for when the opportunity comes along, you're not gonna be successful. So that's why you have to always sharpen yourself, always put yourself out there, always, risk it for the biscuit, so to speak, you know? Make your short films, put them out there. Don't expect a return, but pray that
Yeah.
maybe one day you get one. You never know what's gonna happen.
Dear Lord, please do not let this hurricane strike this theater while I promote my movie through it.
One of my films, if you watch it, we had 2 active tornadoes around us while we were filming,
What?
and the door to the bar flew open while we were, between takes. We had to go and lock it shut so it wouldn't, open on us.
Oh, that wasn't Twisters, was it?
No, I didn't shoot twisters.
Dang.
That would've been fitting. No, no, this one doesn't even have great audio in it because it's just the way we shot it. But if you
Right.
listen closely, I put a storm sound in the background because you could hear the storm outside,
Wow.
blowing. I think one was, let's see, one was like 2 miles away from us or something down
Uh,
one side, and then one was a couple of blocks up, I don't know, probably about, 12 miles away or something like that. It was, pretty neat, pretty neat. So, that's a cool story.
yeah, dear Lord, please don't let it. Yeah, that'd be crazy. And third round, third round says, but he's so handsome on camera. Look, when you get a beard like that, you're gonna get some handsomeness out of it. Alaska Man Jeff says
No, I'll just
small. Alaska Jeff says small productions tear themselves apart as well. People learn what you're doing and they try and kick your feet out from under you.
mhm,
Totally not speaking from experience.
mhm.
Wow, totally not speaking from
Yeah,
experience.
haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. I like psychological thrillers. Slighty Pie says gory isn't scary. Suspense is scarier. I think a combination of suspense and thriller can be quite scary because
Mhm,
it, I think it's funny. People complain of jump scares and yet they still get people.
mhm,
If you do it too much, it's like it ruins it. But
mhm,
if you do it just that's where the thing with like Five Nights at Freddy comes in because that's a Bloomhouse ordeal. But it's also had its own thing beforehand with the games, and it does rely in sense on jump scares, but they still work. It just is whatever. Oh, and you already responded to Alaska Man Jeff for that.
mhm.
Um, there we go. Brittany says I like psychological thrills, never horror. Well, understandable. Yeah, that's don't like that either. Mayor Weapons, if you like this movie. It just didn't reach out to me to want to go see it. It wasn't. It's just like there's some movies where you see a trailer and like, no, but maybe I'm just not
Yeah,
all
I'm a
into
maybe
that.
on that one. I've
Yeah.
heard good things, so I don't know.
Half Pine says somebody else actually says risk it for the biscuit with zero shame, a man after my own heart. But he didn't say with honey on it. Well, as well. That's the real kicker. Risk it for
No,
the biscuit
don't put
with a
no
little.
honey on it. Put some sausage gravy on that bad boy. Sop it all up.
Oh, new scene. Pretend you are in a tornado. Action. There you go.
That's basically what it was.
Now I want you to act surprised and scared that this gentleman right here is going to rob you. He's going to actually rob us. I want you to act surprised and scared. All in one go. Action.
Another funny story about that. We were filming another film in a bar. It's like a theme here.
Yeah.
And the bar was closed. It was on a Sunday. The owner was in there. He let us in. He's in there watching us and everything. And well, he had one of his patrons walking by and he didn't know it, but he saw two guys with guns walk into his buddy's bar. And so he ran into our production to try to stop these two gunmen from holding up the bar. And we're like, "It's okay, buddy. It's okay. We're just shooting a film. Owner's right there. It's all good. It's all good."
Yeah.
His heart was racing. He's like, "I don't have a gun. I don't know what I was gonna do." And I was like, "Oh, it's okay, man. It's okay. Come on.
He,
Come on.
he,
I'll buy you a drink. Come on."
he gets the little side pocket thing where it looks like he has something like, put it down, put
Yeah.
it down. I don't want to have to hurt anyone. Put it
Mhm.
down.
Yeah, this is in Georgia. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. If you don't have your piece, you're screwed.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
pretend like you do.
Yeah. Otherwise, them in Atlanta they'll certainly throw you off the course.
Mhm.
I heard that's pretty bad space. Um, but as of I'm pretty sure you've seen movies, but have you seen any movies recently?
Yeah. Let's see. I went to the theater, which people love the way I say that. Um, I don't know. I went to the theater
Yeah.
and saw 28 Years Later, which I was so excited about, and then I was
Uh,
so bummed that I wasted my time on that. I
wow.
was incredibly disappointed. But then when Sinners came on HBO Max, I think that was
Uh,
July 4th. Me and the wife watched it, and I was like, "This is great. This is cinema."
mhm,
Ryan Coogler does a great job. Especially when he gets to be free and do what he wants to do versus being tied to a property like Black Panther or whatever, probably. But
uh,
when he has his freedom. I mean, and funny story is actually one of the some of the inspiration behind Sinners was from one town up from me. He was driving through and saw one of the cotton fields, and
uh,
he went out there and just kind of started thinking about a scene, and that scene's
wow.
in the movie. And yeah, he was just riding through our neck of the woods, and there you go. But I thought that was great cinema because there was parts of it that were kinda all over the place, but it was very artistic in how
Yeah.
the story was told. But then a lot of the story was very basic and kinda predictable too, but it was
Yeah.
still a fun ride. Out of the films that I've seen recently that have come
Mhm.
out, Sinners has been my favorite so far.
See, I never saw the one. I know it was like a low budget. I think they said it was low budget, but it made it impressively back or whatever. But I know it's a vampire movie. It's basically what it is. It's a Sinners is a vampire movie, but I never saw it. It just didn't reach out to me to go see it. It just
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
it definitely wasn't low. It was lower budget than what Disney and everybody else is making, 20, 40, 200 or $400 million budgets or whatever Superman might have been.
Yeah.
But, yeah, definitely lower than that. But, yeah, I definitely wasn't low budget, but it
Uh,
it it did great. It did great at the box office. I'm sure it's doing good streaming numbers because that's where we watched it. And I think we've watched it one time maybe, and we've talked about watching it again because it was
mhm.
so enjoyable. It really was.
Yeah,
But it's very much so like Dusk Till Dawn. There's elements of it a lot of people compare it to. They say it's a black from Dusk Till Dawn.
yeah,
I can see a little bit of that, but I also disagree. There's a unique story there too.
yeah. Which I can understand, but I haven't seen it, so it's
Mhm.
just one of those things where like, there are movies you sometimes go see out of, "Oh, there's no other movie going on,"
Yeah.
or you are intrigued by the subject matter, like,
Mhm.
when I went to go see Better Man, which was about Robbie Williams and all that stuff. A
Mm.
lot of people's part of the complaint was it didn't make its money back, and the other complaint was that he was a CGI monkey, which was done by Weta. But I think the point with that movie that people miss was that it the rest of it, where you're getting to see this guy who's wanting to be famous because he thinks that will solve his issues. But he goes to that position. And the funny thing was is he was on a radio show. It was an Australian radio show. And at one point, I believe he was talking about like his family had seen it, like his kids and all that stuff. And his daughter wanted to go, wanted to talk to him, and so they went out to the garden stuff, and she was like, "I understand now. I understand." Because the story was is that his kid, his daughter wanted to be as famous as he is or more. But when she saw that movie of that, it changed it in a way where she's like, I get it now. I don't think I want to be famous because of that. Because for me, Better Man was understandably in the sense of, okay, he's a CGI monkey, but it makes sense in the precaution of it's what he sees himself as. It's not what
Mhm.
everyone sees him as. It's what he sees himself as. And so we're seeing what he sees himself as. Plus you get the music parts too, which are fun in its own right. But it sort of comes to this thing of movies where you have a bunch of people online who have made the content creation, right? They've made it their point of like, this movie wasn't great because of dang, 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 all this stuff. And that's what not doesn't make it successful. But I'm like, what makes a movie successful goes beyond a what's the term? The numbers, the box office numbers and all stuff.
Right, financials, yeah.
Right. And a great example is is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. When the movie came out, it bombed. And yet somehow, some way, years later, it's a cult classic, right?
One
And
of
I'm
my
not
fa
gonna s
one of my favorites of all time. Yeah.
right. I'm not gonna say every movie that bombs at a box office theater is gonna turn into a cult classic, but I'm trying to bring the point is like success
Hocus
is not.
Pocus did that too.
Oh, really? Well, I didn't know
Mhm.
that. But the point of the matter is trying to point out that success is not defined by box office. Again, it kind of goes with the Superman movie too, where you've seen a lot of discourse about people like they fudge and hate it because it didn't go with the comics here, it didn't make its money back, it did all this stuff where it made Superman look weak. There are a whole bunch of stuff you could point out that don't make sense, and yet every time I went to the theater, and I've gone 3 times now for Superman, the theater was full. There were a few seats open, but the theater was full. Success is defined by the individual who watches the movie, not by the content creators who say it was a bomb, not
Mhm.
by the people who point out, well, it failed at the box office. You do not get to define success for someone else. What the meaning of success is for someone else. I weirded that wrong.
Mhm.
Because I went to go see Superman, and I've seen it 3 times now, and I enjoyed it. It's still the points that it hits in the movie hits me the same every stinking time, and the reason is because it hits on the points that what you go back and watch the animations of Superman and the Justice League and all that stuff, and people will say, "Oh, it made him look weak." I saw a movie where Superman started out weak, and yet at the end of the movie, he was on his 2 feet with his friends beating the bad guy. How is that weak? How is it still weak throughout? Again, the discourse around Superman, I get it, James Gunn, all this stuff, but at the end of the day, content creators, other people and opinions and whatnot, they do not get to define what success means to an individual because I'm telling you what, a lot of people are talking. I've seen it many times. A lot of people are talking how they enjoyed the movie and all this stuff. That's the point you're missing. Not you, the general you. But it's just like all it again, goes with any movie. People like the people like the Man of Steel, people like the Batman versus Superman. People didn't. At the end of the day, what was successful to the individual does not matter to the whole because the individual saw the movie. That's what matters more. Your kid is gonna see a movie designed for them, and you're gonna see a you're gonna see a movie with your kid that's designed for a kid. The kid is where the success is at. It's not with you. I mean, it's just this is what gets me every single time about it, is like you have these fights of like, let me prove how your opinion's wrong. No, opinions don't get to override each other on a movie because someone got to enjoy something. That's the issue here. My opinion doesn't override. Oh, he froze. Oh, he's coming back. Uh, I didn't I didn't notice he was out of it. Um, my thing is that my opinion does not get to override people's opinion about how they dislike the Superman movie. It just are you okay?
It just blacked out on me. I have no idea what's going on. I refreshed.
Yeah, that's weird. My opinion doesn't get to outweigh those who dislike the movie, but their opinion does not get to outweigh how I enjoyed the movie. And that's how it should be. But it's like this fight on social media like, no, here are the reasons why. I don't give a flying fudge about box office because it's how the movie made me feel. It's how the movie made many people feel. You don't get to work that. That's not your area. And all that stuff. But that was just my rant. Sorry.
That was a valid rant for how to measure success in some ways, but with these big budget films, I mean, a successful film is still one that makes a profit. As far as if it's a financial success, which is something that the studios desperately need.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's just one thing I'll say. I mean, they got to be financially successful, and they are putting way too much money into the films,
Yeah.
and they're not making enough back off of it. And it's like, look,
Yeah. You
if
can't.
you know the movies are, I mean, look at Superman, the one that you're talking about, right? So it was out in the theaters, and now it's already like what for
Digital.
digital and
Streaming, I believe?
whatever streaming
Yeah.
very soon, if not already. It's like you can just wait a few weeks and catch it on streaming. Like there's
Mhm.
no what is the incentive to go see it in the film in the theater?
Theaters, yeah.
Now, so and that's where you're going to make your biggest buck up front. So yeah, don't people are already going to do that. So you don't need to invest as much into the films. These lower budget films, like the what was the one that Sean was saying you weren't
Weapons.
interested in? Yeah, I think that was a fairly low budget film, and it's I think that opening weekend it made its budget back,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
The same another great example, Five Nights at Freddy's was
Mm,
I think it was like 300 million, and it made no,
no,
30 million.
that's a lot. Yeah, probably 30 million.
Oh, it was probably 30 million, it was somewhere around that mark, it was low, but it made thrice that much. It made thrice that much back, but part of it was the whole, the not the lore, but it already had its thing in place before Blumhouse decided to make a movie of, ca Scott Cawthon was involved with the movie from beginning to end, and especially with the second one, beginning to end, and all that stuff, and people enjoyed it and wanted to go see it, and it hit all the right points, and it made its money triple. But and again, again, it is true that some of these they're trying to follow the end game stuff. They're trying to follow the
Mhm,
Marvel stuff, but the point of the matter is don't follow that. Follow the story, right?
mhm,
If you can make a good Superman movie, if you can make a good horror movie, if you can make a good romantic comedy movie on a low budget
mhm,
and it gains back triple, don't try to increase the amount of money you spend for the next one. Try to find ways to keep that going. Keep it low budget. You don't need to spend over $100 million for a movie that doesn't make sense for it. Some things do because CGI and all that stuff.
sure.
That's a whole nother ball game. Um.
Or a Christopher Nolan film where he rarely uses CGI.
Oh yeah.
He wants the real deal, and that costs money. That
Oh
costs
yeah.
money.
Oh
You know?
yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, you're right. It depends on the project. I mean, I mean, Blair Witch Project is one of the classic ones to point to. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody kinda got tired of the found footage stuff, but I mean, they really kicked it off in the movie for nothing, and it
Yeah.
blew up,
Oh yeah.
and made more than enough money. So, there are different ways to measure success, no
Mhm.
question about it.
Mm.
Financials are one of the easiest measurable ways
Yeah.
to point to that. But to your point, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, one of my favorite movies of all time. The Wizard of Oz is probably my favorite movie of all time for the reason that it made me want to be a filmmaker.
Mhm.
The Godfather is one of my favorite movies.
Mhm.
But Hocus Pocus is not one of my favorite movies. It's one of my wife's favorite movies, and it's got a cult following. But
Uh,
that's the thing too. When it came out in the theaters, it did not do well. And now
yeah.
look at it. I mean, it's blown up into what it is.
Yeah.
And some things just have to have time to grow.
Yeah.
Some comedians are ahead of their time, and then people find them later and just absolutely love 'em. Mitch Hedberg, I think, was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald to a degree was, and people loved them then, but even more now when they're finding their stuff, they're like, "Hey, this is
Mhm.
good stuff," you know? So, you never know what audience you're gonna find either. Like you're saying, you might have made this audience for the or made this film for the children or whatnot, but maybe it's
Mhm.
not their children that really pick up and connect to it. Maybe it's their children's children,
Yeah.
and it gets a new life after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what the beauty of art is. Art is
Mhm.
living, it's breathing, it's fluid. It can move from a painting to a sculpture to a film to
Mhm.
what we're doing right now. Whatever. It's art is very fluid, is very natural, and unfortunately, the Hollywood machine is forcing stuff into the genre of art that's not. It's money-making stuff. Let's make this money-making project. Let's make this
Mhm.
money-making film. Let's create this money-making franchise, like you're saying, following a model that already went ahead of us with Marvel, and let's print money just like they did. The problem in a lot of that is they've lost the heart and the passion and the artistry behind it. They're trying to hit certain run times. They're trying to hit certain, and I hate, hate, hate this, the whole DEI and the inclusion, all that stuff. Like, so the Academy Awards and some of the other ones are like, you have to check these boxes in order to be nominated. I'm like, no, if it doesn't fit in my film, I'm not doing it. If I make a film, and some of my films, I don't even know if they even had a couple of them, probably don't even have a white person in it. I've got some films
Mhm.
that don't have a black person in it. Most of our films are mixed because John's black, I'm white, our groups come together and everything. And most of the people I run with are black anyway, and then all his black people, we come together, it's like, "Oh, a black film." It is what it is. It fits the
Yeah.
story, though. We didn't set out to do that. So, I mean, it's whatever the film calls for.
Yeah.
It's, again, let that art speak and be an artist and not just be a money guy,
Yeah.
trying to make money. I get that you've got to make your money back. Now, I'm not hating on that, but God, how much money do you have to put? Again, I've spent $900. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a short film, so I don't really have a way to put it out there and make money. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to get my practice and get it out there. But that $900 film has been in festivals all around the world, been seen by so many people, and won awards. So, I mean, clearly, $900 went a long way in that regards, and that's all success. Even like you were saying, I mean, I haven't made any money off of it, but that's successful to me.
Yeah.
And that notoriety and that response to it is huge.
Yeah.
And so, maybe the next one, it'll feed the next one, which feeds the next one, which feeds the next one. So,
Yeah. It's always
never say.
building up the next one.
Mhm.
Uh, Life Suit Jan is a movie Snowpiercer, an adult version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I never seen it, but I know Chris Evans is in it, so I don't know. I know they made a TV series about it.
Yes.
Um, uh, this one was interesting. Now, I will say before I bring this one up, I did watch a video before I came on here where they were talking about how they're instead of using green screen now, they're using actually LED screens.
Yep.
Where they're which it makes to me it makes more sense because a green screen takes almost forever and using an actual LED screen. But I mean there are the issues with it too, but it's like you have that and all that stuff. But it's like they use it for the Robert Pattinson Batman. I'm like, I didn't even notice that. I thought that was a real city they're at. I didn't know it was not. It was on an LED screen.
They
I'm
used a
like,
lot for Superman.
yeah. Well, and the funny thing too is that they also part of it. Some of it is they use Unreal Engine, which is
Mhm.
Epic's, Fortnite and stuff. So it was interesting to see that. But this is kind of goes along with it. Live Search is asking how many months before studios use Google's VO3 to generate the movie instead of film it. That's a real question studios may have to ask. The technology isn't perfect right now. You have to do all the prompt stuff. Well, it's gonna be whatever, but it's starting to touch in that pool, right? Where people like beyond filmmakers, like people like me or Slidey Pie or whatever, we can just do this little thing and it can generate a very short movie. Imperfect, really imperfect. But now the tool's becoming for everyone to do it instead of not a select few, but people who have the passion to take upon the work ethic to get it done, like people, cinematographers, filmmakers, and all this stuff. So, for you, how do you see that?
I see it as another tool, but also as a threat. I mean, shooting on a green screen, that's AI, not really, but I mean, that's a technology that's used. That's like, oh, well, why couldn't they just film on location? You know, how much longer for every film is shot on green screen, which most of them are now, you know, a lot
Yeah.
of superhero movies and stuff. But it doesn't take anything away from the enjoyment and pleasure of watching them necessarily.
Mhm.
The thing is, to me, it's another tool. You
Yeah.
know, it's another tool in your bag that you can use. Um, I think right now these AI clips that are out here that are hilarious, there's
That
a lot of views happening off of them. There are,
Mhm.
but I don't know if we will ever get to the point where we would want to, maybe in the beginning, just out of curiosity and being
Yeah.
different, but it's like a new restaurant coming to town, like everybody
Yeah.
flocks to it, and after that it dies off.
Yeah.
Um, and then you see if it has legs or not, really. But
Yeah.
you know, AI films, if they were to start coming out, you know, I don't know if there'd be an audience forever because they know there's nothing authentic about it. And you know, we were talking about Ozzy Osbourne earlier. I remember somebody was playing back some of his singing in something. It was AI generated. Something happened, and Sharon Osbourne was like, it has no soul to it. It has no life to it, and she could hear that in just listening to it, and it sounds just like him. But then if you pay attention, I mean, you get that, and it's like, yeah, there's no life, there's no substance there. Because when I listen to man, I listened to a 70-year-old black man from, you know, Mississippi singing the blues with the rasp in his voice, and he's not hitting every single note perfectly, but he's pushing it, boy, and he's got that hurt in his soul. That's, oh man, that's the best to me. You know,
Mhm.
that's what I love. That, like, hit me with it, bro. There's so much soul and art and passion in that. That's what I want. And AI just can't duplicate that. And I'll say this, a film that I did watch that I really enjoyed was the, Late Night with the Devil,
Hmm.
and they got crap because they used, I think, 1 or 2 AI generated images
Mhm.
in the film,
Mhm.
not scenes. They didn't use AI to it was like a holographic little image or whatever, I think,
Yeah.
and they used AI for it. I'm like, "I'm okay with that."
Yeah.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
You can use tools for
Yeah.
anything. I'm okay with that. I would venture to believe that
Yeah.
in the realm of replacing maybe or cutting down cost of
Yeah.
the CGI team, that AI
Yes.
may come into effect because shooting on the green screen and you need a city behind you, like you're saying, AI can generate scenes of cities and whatnot. I'm sure, and especially if you don't want it, if you want it to be, you know, ambiguous, and you don't want it to be obviously Chicago or obviously Atlanta or obviously New York, you can create these AI generated cities.
Oh, wow, that has the double. Oh, oh, they probably shouldn't be in there. Livesearch says that the opening scene in Dark Knight is so beautiful, shot in IMAX film, which, I mean, you have to give Nolan credit. He does like shooting in IMAX film.
Loves
That
it.
but
Yeah,
it's expensive as heck, though. Half Pint says the found footage style ruined 3 nights of sleep for me on the movie Amber Alert because it said it was real footage from a real event at the beginning of the movie. Well, it's sort of like the same with Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity was sort of that return to found footage,
yeah.
and boy, was that made its money back because it was probably like tens, thousands, and ooh boy. Um, Freaked me out. If you ever had the chance to watch that movie, just don't. Well, don't say if you ever had the chance to watch it and then say don't. You're opening the door to people go watch it. Just say don't watch it. But even then, that would open the door
Well,
for
you
people
got
to
me
watch
curious. I've never seen that movie, but now I'm curious.
Ambler. Black Mirror's Bandersnatch was awesome since the movie progressed based on your decision. Well, not bad. Well, I think some people kind of do that with the YouTube stuff where you can choose a scene or whatever. Not, I don't know how that works, but it is what it is. Burn the AI. Of course, Jeff wants to burn the AI. I understand. Yo, Goonie, what up? I hope Sonia wasn't as bothered as she has been in the past. Late Night with the Devil was a great low budget film. Everyone should watch it. Live Search is backing you up on that. And Half Pint says blues music is the best, but I gotta say AI is really close to it, especially the instrumental stuff. The songs I use on my live channel for intro outro music is AI, and it's incredible. Yeah, the tool that gets used more improves more. Like we didn't start out with the hoe we have. We started out with something that was a little less refined, but the more we use it, the more we improved on it. The parachute. The parachute, the more we use the parachute, because it's like I think the first parachute was like a cone, right? Cone all the way around. But the more we use the parachute, the more we improved on the parachute, and it's what it is now, especially for paragliding. But I'm not too risky on wanting to paraglide for that. Um, Last one, Jeff says Disney fired their entire 2D film department in the early 2000s. Obviously, yeah, because whatever. To move the work overseas or to 3D, I got to meet some of those animators. Companies will gladly fire everyone for everybody. Well, yes, because it's about money and it's a
Right.
business. And if you're, and like we were talking about earlier about getting a company and not having a profit when you first start out, take this question if you will. You're a company that wants to do something like a small company, whatever, and you want to do something that does with art or whatever, but you're not wanting to spend all the hundreds of dollars that some commissioner or some company is going to ask you. Are you going to spend maybe $100 versus a couple $100? What are you going to do? Your company's starting out. You don't want to spend much money. What are you going to do? You're going to choose the $100 option or the couple $100 option. You're gonna go with the low cost because why would you pay a couple $100 up front for something that's only cost less for the fraction of that? Maybe we'll have mistakes, but for the most part, people don't notice mistakes very hard unless they're looking for it. And I tell you what, you can get away with a lot if you're able to hide it well.
Mhm.
Just have a filmmaker right here who's saying that it's possible. Okay.
Yeah, my camera stops right here because there's a lot to hide below there. Yeah, framing is important.
I don't need to know what goes on down below. Just knows that the bungalow is there. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, I just at the end of the day, it's going to be a thing where we can talk all what we want. We can say it should end and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, people are going to be curious. People are going to like your example of the restaurant thing was great. The A new restaurant is going to open up.
Mhm.
Say it's like an old time diner. Old time diner opens up. Everyone goes for the new thing. It's just how it goes, right? If the food's not good, the next day there won't be very many people there and all stuff. But if the food is good, it could last longer. Again,
Right.
the new stores have opened up. The companies out there that are making this stuff, they're going to keep going until the money dries up. That's the bottom line. If you dislike the things that these companies do or whatever, the bottom line is money. You got to dry it up or they're going to keep going. That's just how this works. That's just how it works. And Lifester says, as long as small creators have access to the same AI tools, companies need to consider having real people as the thing that sets them apart. Uh,
Agreed.
yeah, then it's understandable. But at the end of the day, like you said, people are going to have access to those tools. There was another thing Google would put out for that Google Genie or Genie 3 or whatever it was, where you're basically having a virtual world being done real time. You can have your VR headset and a whole world is being done you make a prompt and then it's being generated in real time. All I'm going to ask is this: you have a train that is bigger, that is stronger, and that is faster than just the one individual. How are you going to stop it?
Superman.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah,
Well,
I'll guess.
and to live search app there, and I kind of said this a minute ago. I don't have a problem with the little guys using every tool that they have. Me being a little guy myself, but like we don't have access to the funds that these major studios do. So I hate that money is such an entry point
Yeah.
to so many different things. Like with this, oh, you got to have a good camera and good lighting. So no, you don't. Just learn how to make the most of what you got. Same thing with the filmmaking. I mean, I started with um, a little camera that used the little mini DV tapes in there
Yeah.
and whatnot. And then I progressed to a DSLR, and now I have a legit cinema camera, which
Nice.
is still a low end cinema camera. To be fair, it's kind of barely a cinema camera,
Mhm.
but still, like It's made by Black Magic, who is a company who is absolutely out there for the indie guys and the low budget guys because they make
Mm.
so many different products. DaVinci Resolve is one of their products, and you can go out there and download it for free
Oh
for
yeah.
editing and color grading and stuff, and it is phenomenal.
Mhm.
So, I appreciate that kind of stuff, and I have no qualms at all with the little guy taking every opportunity they have to create that art
Mhm.
and be competitive
Yeah.
because otherwise it's like, oh, if you're not a $100 million film, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
I disagree completely. See you, Alaska man. Enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, well, and not only that, but I mean, there's so many places to put your movie out. Like a
Yeah.
theater just isn't the thing anymore. I mean, I'm not to saying I don't enjoy the theater. It would be nice if you could have. It'd be nice if theaters could work with small independent movie film goers, and have that be a working thing. But they need the money to keep their places open. It's like I don't even know what it costs to keep a theater open. But the point of the matter is, though, is the tool will go on and people will still be curious to use it. I mean, when that whole thing with the Yeti thing came out and the Sasquatch thing came out, I was laughing. And that's an entry point for it. If you do those things that make people laugh, it's just like it's like ice cream. You're giving people ice cream and they're going to keep wanting more.
Mm,
The stormtrooper thing was fantastic in its own right. Yes, it had bugs. Yes, it had all the stuff that comes with the AI. But guess what? People were laughing. People were sharing. People were commenting. People were doing all the things that got people interested. Now, I haven't seen very much of any of those things anymore because of the algorithm and whatnot. But they still exist, and people are still doing them, and people are still wanting to watch it. How are you going to end it? How are you going to stop it?
yeah.
I get that people they have their emphasis with AI, and I'm not telling you to accept it, but I am asking you a big question. How are you going to stop something you want destroyed if you don't have the means nor the mouth, if that makes sense, to stop it? Curiosity beats out your preaching,
Mhm.
basically. One's preaching. Live search says combine Genie with the video wall. I don't know what that is. You will be able to shoot at lower cost.
He's talking about that LED wall that you're talking about,
Oh
the
yeah,
LED
yeah, yeah.
panels and stuff.
Well, I mean, again, they use some of them are using Unreal Engine, which
Unreal
if you
Engine, yeah.
if you haven't seen Unreal Engine 5, they're getting pretty close to that sort of real life look of things.
Mhm.
Like when they put that demo out there for Unreal Engine 5, it was the lighting and all this stuff just looked phenomenal. And I'm not someone who's a filmmaker. I can't see all the little things or whatever. I'm just saying, wow, that looks great. I'd go into a cave and the light reflects like an sort of open cave sort of thing. And the light reflects like you're actually in a cave.
And especially if the stuff is in the background, slightly out of focus.
Yeah.
Like with the Superman thing again, when he was on the LED things,
Yeah.
that's when he was flying around the ice and everything like that. And most of that stuff was blurred because he was moving so quickly and it was kind of
Yeah.
out of focus because he was in focus. So if
Yeah.
there were any imperfections, guess what? They were hidden. You didn't
Yeah.
really catch up. You didn't catch them. So yeah,
Yeah.
you can get away with a lot that way, like you were saying.
Yeah, if you have people who are good enough, they know how to hide the bad parts, and sometimes they're so easy to hide those things, it's not gonna do very much.
I hide the
And
bad parts all the time.
oh well, that's your missus right there. But anyways, Live Search says the VO3 Bigfoot videos were only as good as the story itself, and they were
That's
funny.
true. That's true.
Yeah, and sometimes people just make things that be funny, share. It's like memes. Memes are a dime a dozen now. There's another new meme every what minute, or I guess. I don't know. But anyway, it is the top of the hour again, and we were going to start winding down because one, I do need to set up for tomorrow, and two, I do have to start going to bed. So,
Me too.
because I do have a full time job. So, anyway, we're going to do um, promoting our stuff again as before. Gotta find where do they put? Give me the there we go. So, Mr. Chris, with all your wonderfulness, the floor is yours.
So yeah, you can go to that link tree there, or you can just find me at My Morning Mayhem pretty much everywhere. Again, I'm not super duper active with the show right now because I am shifting gears back to the filmmaking thing, but I'm probably going to be back and probably post some videos from time to time and be on other shows. So the biggest thing I'd say is if you want to follow me and keep up with me at all, whether it's about the filmmaking or about anything else. Follow me on X. That's where I'm probably going to be most active at any given moment. At My Morning Mayhem. And if you want to follow the Rumble channel, if you want to follow the YouTube channel, again, stuff's going to probably sporadically come out from time to time. Right now, anyways, and that's at My Morning Mayhem for all of that as well. And yeah, I'm also on like Gab and what is it, Truth Social and Minds and I don't know, Facebook, all with the at My Morning Mayhem. But again, if you want to interact with me, if you want to keep up with anything going on, X is going to be the best place, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But at My Morning Mayhem, check me out there. And yeah, if you want to connect, talk film or anything like that, I'm a nerd. I love it. Hit me up.
He said they'll be asking, "What kind of lens do you use?" And says, "The one that doesn't blind you." Um,
Whatever works.
Remember, don't look at the sun while you're looking through a lens, kids. You will have blindness.
Mess up that sensor too, boy. Woo.
Good lord. But anyway, whether you're on the Rumble side or the YouTube side, doesn't matter which side you're on. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because not only does it help with being seen more, like all content creators want to be. I say that because it's true. It also helps with having other people on, like Chris, like Gina, like Sean, like Alaska and Jeff, like so many other people. Again, at the end of the day, I've had on over 200 various guests, creator or not. And I'm going to continue to do so because there are so many people and so little time. And at the end of the day, that's the thing I want to do. That's the thing I want to do. So here I am. But anyway, any help with the engagement on either Rumble or YouTube or both doesn't matter. All that matters is a little help that comes goes along the way. So I appreciate you for that. Of course, now I've got to find. Nope, nope, nope. I'm going back to the list. Where were my links? Okay, so I've got only one. All right. Let's see. I had my. She did them. She posted my links. Man, this is the part I have to go back through the line because I'm not gonna copy and paste. All right, I've already have them up here. Nope, that was a little after. I'm almost there. There we go. There's my link right there. You can find my Twitter X. You can find my email. You can find a Discord link, but it's mostly just for DMing. I may make something, but it's mostly for something else. It's not to do with like all the other people who do Discord. I really don't care, to be honest. It's a lot of mental bandwidth I just don't have very much of. So, trying to do something that I can enjoy. But anyway, there's my link down below. And of course, like I said earlier, I am part of the Proton partner program. Um, this I'm trying to promote their Proton Pass, which is their password manager. I use it. Also use the other stuff that Proton offers. Again, you can go down the link below. You can look through it. You can see for yourself if it's worth it or not. If it's not worth it for you, that's fine. Yes, I can make money off it, but that's not the point why I promote it. I promote it because I see a benefit to it. I use the benefit for myself. So why would I not share that with you? That's the point of why I do it. So anyway, link down below. Up to you if you want to check it out or not. But I appreciate all the same. Okay. But anyway, yes, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, I was gonna have on a guest, or I was gonna do solo, but I was able to get someone on. So tomorrow,
Mm.
Physics will be joining me tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you'll all join me for that. But of course, the last thing I do with my guest, uh, is something I call questions from a hat. So what
Mhm.
happened, I bought a hat from Rumble, put some questions inside. And so what happens is that my guest, you, obviously, of course, get to have two freebie questions from the hat. Because I got to offer a little something, otherwise, he only gets one question. It's like, yes. But the point of the matter is that if you're on the YouTube side, sorry, it's just not going to work. I'm not monetized over there. So them's the breaks. However, I am monetized on the Rumble side. So if you're on the Rumble side, you can give a rant to have more than the two pulled out. Hat of Doom. No, no. Questions from a hat. I will never call a Hat of Doom. You can keep trying, but it won't change. Um, but anyway, but because of Sean, being the wonderful person he is, he gave a Rumble rant. He only gave one Rumble rant, so that shows you how much he really cares. but so that makes it care minus one, care to two, 5,003. It's three. So it's a three. Three is a magic number, I heard. So going in for the first one. Let's see. I'm not even looking in the hat, just feeling around, like it feels, like I'm just like a blind man in a strip show. Here's the first question. Where's the rabbit? oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble. The first question is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
So I'll stick with the filmmaking because that's kind of what I've been leaning a lot on tonight. So Carrie Preston is a Emmy Award winning actress from my hometown of Macon, Georgia. She is married to oh my god, I just lost his name. He was I first saw him in the movie Saw. He was the
Carrie Hughes?
No, not Carrie Always.
Yeah.
No, the I can't think of his name, but he's now in a show called Evil, and he was in Persons of Interest and
Jim
Lost.
Caviezel?
No.
Dang.
Anyways, they both came back down to Macon, Georgia for a fundraiser, and we wanted to see Carrie because Carrie was in True Blood, which was a show that we really loved.
Oh yeah.
And she's the redhead from that show. And so we went to go see her, and we were excited about that and everything. And everybody was there to see her. She's the hometown girl. And so I happened to walk over to her husband, who is a 2-time Emmy Award winning actor. And I said, hey, I was going to ask Carrie this. I said, but you mind if I ask you a question? He goes, no, go for it. I said, well, I want to be a filmmaker, but Atlanta's a hot spot, but I can't really go up there all the time. I got a family, I got bills, I got everything. LA, New York, these are both, the cities that you go to for this kind of stuff. I said, I was going to ask Carrie, I said, I'd love to get your input. Like, do you feel like you've got to go to these places to chase your dream and be a filmmaker and do all that? And he just simply said, the art that you're wanting to do lives inside of you, and it follows you wherever you go. So wherever you go, you can do it. It may be more difficult in certain places, but the art form and that passion doesn't change no matter where you are. And if you're true to that art, you'll find success. And so that's basically what he said to me. And that was just incredibly awesome. I'll never forget that. And if I ever do, make it, I will make sure I share that with him, that he shared that moment with me. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's so beautiful. But
Michael Emerson is his name. Michael Emerson.
Michael Emerson.
You would know him if you saw him.
But you said she was a redhead in True Blood. Was she the waitress?
Yeah, redhead waitress. Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about because she was the one who would always razz on. What was his name?
Lafayette? No.
Lafayette. That's right.
Oh, I love Lafayette.
But she played the girl who had like trouble with her kids or something like that.
She had the 2 kids, and then she was with the one guy in the first season. That was there.
Yeah.
But she's gone on to do her own. She's in. She got her own show called Elsbeth, and she was in like, I think it was The Good Wife. It was something else. I don't know, but she's got her a great career going. And she's from my hometown of Macon. So, she came there for a fundraiser. We're like, hell yeah, we're going to go meet somebody from True Blood. Let's do it up. We can have a bottle of True Blood we bought a while back, and my wife took a picture of her with it. It was great. It's nice. And focused and everything because I took it. But then I met her. I wanted a picture with her husband, Michael Emerson. And I'm like, 2-time Emmy Award winning actor. He's in one of, I love Saw. He's in the show Evil we watch now. It's great. Take a picture of me, babe. She's like, okay. So she is not a photographer, and you can tell. So my picture with a 2-time Emmy Award winning actor is not in focus. And I basically have the memory at this point.
Did you say, honey, look, if we need to take you to the doctors because there might be some onset Parkinson's, we need to go now.
I think she was nervous from meeting Carrie. I'll chalk it
Right.
up to that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Yeah. No, but that's pretty interesting because you don't really hear a lot of stories of celebrities or stars carrying on after their sort of main show ends. Because I mean, like, usually you see a lot of them do like these podcast things, which is all right, but it
Mhm.
gets kind of the same as anything else. Like,
Sure.
oh,
Yeah.
this celebrity invited this celebrity on.
Mhm.
Oh wow, this again. That's why I try to do creator, not creator, because
Sure.
you have an unlimited pool. It's so
Mhm.
hilarious how people miss that point. It's an unlimited pool to just draw from, and people, you'll get some challenges, but challenges will sharpen you for the next challenge, and you'll get better over time.
Correct.
And to be honest, while I would love to do this more than my full time job, I wouldn't want to rely on content creation as a full time job
You
because
lose the excitement and the passion when there's a requirement to do stuff.
oh
Like, you
oh
have to do the show to make money, and then
yeah.
it's yeah,
That's why I'm walking away from the creator program because after a certain point,
exactly.
premium only streams were a push, but once you push the ad reads on and the poor communication that came with it, it was just like, sorry, it goes against the grain of what my show is. I'm done. I don't see a reason to continue on. Oh look, there he is. There's Mike right there. Look, oh thank you KGC. Look at that. Had to stop by the show and give this man a big old thumbs up and a few dollars because I found out he was actually a writer that used to be writing for Hollywood. So
So
uh,
Mike, yeah,
yeah,
Mike was balls deep in the business, and
he,
still in there a little bit
yeah.
doing his thing.
Look at you.
Mike's a good looking man. I'm just saying, got me questioning myself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
look,
hey, I don't know,
look. I once saw Brad Pitt and I was like, I think I need to reconsider my
right?
options.
Right?
Oh goodness. All right. Well,
Telling you.
here's question number 2. This one's pretty easy. Do you prefer cats or dogs, and why?
Uh, Dogs are a man's best friend. So yeah, I go with dogs. One, I'm allergic to cats.
Okay.
Two, I didn't have either one of them growing up, and we just had to put one down on July 3rd, and it was one of the hardest things ever, and that's because we, built such a bond and a
Mm.
relationship. And I've got one now, and we just actually purchased one puppy that we'll be getting very, very soon. And so just like the bond that you have with them, and especially with like, I hate to say it, like you don't want to have favorites like with your favorite kids, but the one we got now, I mean, he's a big old pit bull, which is a
Mhm.
baby with us. But heaven forbid if he hears something go bump in the night and he thinks his family's in danger. I mean, the dude's willing to risk everything to protect
Wow.
his family. So, like that kind of loyalty and love, that unconditional love, man, I tell you what, there's just it's awesome. And my daughter has experienced that with these animals, to the point where she now has a glimpse of what it's like to be a parent. I'm like, you just love your child so much, like you just can't imagine breathing without knowing that they are breathing too. You just like it's something else. It's a whole different level of love that you never experience until you hit that level, kind of like in a video game. Until you beat that boss and get to that level, you never really realize what it's like. So being a parent unlocks a hidden level of love you never experienced. And having a
Oh,
dog, very, very similar.
thank you, Sidey Pie. There you
Oh,
go. Look at that. See all the love right there from Sidey Pie. I'm gonna
it's awesome.
write it down. But no, I wouldn't have used the video game because it's only a little easier than being a parent. But there's more to it than just the looks of things because it goes deeper not only for the child but it also goes deep for yourself because I think some of the things, just as an outsider observer, I think some of the things parents forget is that they were once a kid themselves, and you are trying to bring this person up who,
Mm,
well, one day is gonna leave and gonna make, this is that scene in Superman, right? That got me too was when Clark is sitting down with his dad or Pa Kent,
yeah,
and he has that scene with him like, look, it is not the business. I think it is not the business of the parent to tell the kids how to live their life or something like that. but it's like we give you the tools to make fools of your own. And I really think that hits hard at parenting is that you kind of are giving what you were given and you're passing it on to some degree. You may improve it, you may just pass on what you were given, but at the end of the day, you are giving tools to your kid to make fools all their own. And sometimes they will, but you only learn with some form and you hope probably it doesn't get bad like, prison and drugs and all this stuff. But
Right.
tripping over themselves is not a bad ordeal. Just be
It's,
careful where you trip.
it's a great teacher.
Life is a great teacher and it will remind you of how fragile life is. And that's another thing that needs to be reminded is that life is just as fragile as when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And while I can point to say the celebrities and stuff that have passed and whatnot, those are the fine points of seeing that tomorrow is another day, but it may not be yours.
Mhm.
So don't waste it. Question number 3, and thank you, Slighty Pie. So that means you get 4 questions total. So look at that. 4. This one is, what's the most ridiculous way you've ever injured yourself?
I don't know. I haven't really injured myself that much. I've never broken a bone.
Well, you must have tripped over yourself at least once in your life.
What was the question? What's the most embarrassing way?
No, what's the most ridiculous way?
Ridiculous way.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess the most ridiculous way that hurt me the most as well was I was working at a loading dock, and I went to go. I think it was the FedEx. It might have been the FedEx truck or I think it was the FedEx truck, and I went to go open up the back of it. Well, you have to step down from our loading dock was up here. FedEx truck little step was down here, so I stepped down on there. Went to go lift the truck, but I guess I had stepped on the strap that was connected to the door that I was lifting up. So I'm lifting it up, and with the inertia and everything from it grabbed the strap around my foot and pulled me. And I went like my upper body and lower body went like this between our loading dock and the FedEx truck. And it messed me up pretty good. I did have to go to like the physical therapist and get my back shocked and all kinds of stuff. And it had this huge bruise on it. I was like, yeah, I think I'm done for the day. And they're like, yeah, you need to go workers' comp to the place. And I'm like, all right, cool. So that was pretty ridiculous, I guess. I just stepped wrong and wasn't paying attention. Accidents happen.
Yeah, they do, but they can be just as costly, which is
Mhm.
the proving point right there. All right, question number 4, and that'll be the last one unless someone gives a rumble rant. Let's see. Trying to reach into my hat and pull out a question. What's it called? Questions from a hat. All right, here's this one. This is going to start sounding like Sesame Street soon.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, which is hey.
it works. What's a skill you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet? What's a skill you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet? You do have the ability to pass.
Um, I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to know how to speak sign language. I think that's really cool.
You mean sign language? You can't speak it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you communicate sign
communicate.
language.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd always wanted to learn. Like when we were in school, you had to take a foreign language. Well, like I don't speak sign language. I mean, that would be foreign to me. I would have loved to have done that, but instead, it was like, you know, yeah, I don't have that problem. Sean, on the other hand,
Oh,
jeez,
oh my gosh, that one hurts. That one hurts. Wow, that one that one hurts. Jeez Louise. Oh my goodness, dear Lord. But no, that sounds. I mean, I remember my mom. We had done. He was at a nonprofit organization, and there was a gentleman there who worked for her who also was teaching sign language, and so she at a certain point was taking, all right, getting another one in there. I don't want you to go. Closing time. Da, 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 da. But anyway, the gentleman taught sign language, so they know a little bit about sign language. Like
Mhm.
I know a little bit, but it's like you have thank you, and then
Yeah,
you have change. and then you have Este Loco. I don't know about that. But but yeah, but yeah. I mean, if again, you have the internet to learn about this stuff. You have YouTube you can go to and
Mhm.
learn about these things. I mean, the ability to go and learn something other than,
Mhm.
hands-on stuff, which is a good teacher as well, is not that far out anymore.
Right.
Back in the day, you had to travel across the state in order to learn at a college that would teach the thing.
Mhm.
Now, oh, look at this. I have my phone. Done.
What's funny is our daughter will be 13 in November. So we almost have a teenager.
Yeah.
And, at first I was very, very hesitant of giving her a cell phone a while back, but going to a friend's house down the street or going to my mom and dad's or whatever, I've loved her having a phone in case she needed us or we needed her or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I would get notifications when she downloads apps. And what was really funny is I saw this app pop up and I'm like, what is this app that you got? And she said, oh, that's to help me learn another language. I'm like, you're probably 11 at the time. I'm like, what language do you want to learn? She
Mhm.
goes, I got some kids in my class that are Vietnamese. I want to learn Vietnamese. And I was like, are you serious? She goes,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm on a 33-day streak. I'm like, what? So it's cool that technology is out there like that. And I love that she's got a brain that just wants to learn. That's
Yeah.
great.
Again, tools can be used for great things. They can be
Mhm.
used to help be a part of a solution or to stem a problem or sort of stuff. But again, tools also have the other side of it because it's not the tools that are the issue, it is the people using them that are. It sort of goes back to that sort of thing with like guns, right?
I was gonna say just like a gun, yeah.
Like gun control. You can take a fully loaded gun, you can put it on safety or not, and you could bury it in the forest 6 feet deep, and it's not going to do anything.
Mm,
It has no sentience whatsoever. But you put it in the hand of someone who's either inexperienced or experienced, and you get different results. The
mm,
point of the matter is, a garden hoe has much presence to help create a garden that will create wonderful fruits and vegetables and all that stuff, and kill somebody.
yep. Hoes be crazy.
Cain and Abel, all he needed was a rock.
There you go.
Just about that. Question number 5. Thank you, Neuro, for that. Uh, stickiness. All right. If your here you go. If your content were a cocktail, what would it be called, and what would its ingredients be?
If my content
If your content were a cocktail, what would it be called, and what would its ingredients be? It's sort of like where you see them making, like, the in theaters where they make, like, the special drinks for the movie and stuff, like, the what is it? The Wicked no, was it Wicked and all that sort of stuff they have those special drinks for? Sort of like that.
Sure.
What would you what would you
Let's see.
call it?
I don't know. I don't know.
What would
Can I pass? I
We'll
I
we'll
I
pass that one. We'll
I
pass that one.
definitely wanna give you the question. I don't wanna deny the question. I'm
You did
not gonna have
deny the
I'm
you
not gonna have
passed it.
anything good on that one. I'm sorry.
That's alright.
I don't know.
Sometimes I just look in your
'Cause I'm
face
not
like,
really doing the content, anymore
yeah.
either, so that's kind of a
Hey, here's an easier one. Here's an easy one. What sound do you enjoy hearing?
if I'm gonna be sappy, my daughter's voice.
Aw, well, that is
Anything
kinda sappy then.
anything and everything from, "Good night," "I love you," "Thank you,"
Mm,
"Dad." That greatest thing the greatest thing I ever did ever in my life was, the greatest thing I ever did in my life was accept the gift of salvation, through Christ Jesus. The
mm,
second greatest thing I ever did was, have my daughter and, make sure that she knew who the Lord was, and she
mm.
gave her life to Christ, and I actually got to baptize her. So, like, that was huge for me. So, everything kinda centered around her, knowing that she's good in life and that she's good when she leaves this world,
Mhm.
and, yeah, just hearing her voice, um, is the greatest sound in the world to me.
Sort of reminds me, there was a song a long time ago, like 90s song, so this is dating myself. It was called Butterfly Kisses.
Mhm.
I can't remember who was the artist, but that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
because the song is about a dad and daughters getting married and all that stuff, and he is talking about the butterfly kisses, just basically like that. So really, it's a really nice, poignant song, to be honest.
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
for those who are interested. But regardless, beyond that point, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the show. And of course, thank you all in chat for being part of it, whether you were here for a little while or here for the whole thing. I appreciate you all the same. And of course, Artful Brittany says the Mayhem Maraschino.
Yeah.
Something with cherry flavored alcohol.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like a maraschino cherry. Yeah. I like it. I
There
like
you go.
it. I like it.
And it's illiterate. The Mayhem
Mhm.
Maraschino or Maraschino, however they say it.
Yeah. Maraschino.
Maraschino. But what do you call it again? I call it. It's gonna be in your face. You don't leave me alone.
It's a cherry, man. It's a cherry.
There you go.
Move on. Cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cherry baby. But anyway, but of course, a big thank you to the big man himself, who's not only got a big heart, but also likes to just throw words around. Chris, thank you again for coming on. Of course, you're always welcome to come back on again, because he's just like I. And you got to learn a lot about filmmaking stuff. So today, class, we got to learn a bit about filmmaking today. I hope you can. I'm just pulling out a Mr. Rogers. Now, I hope you can join us all for next
That
time.
sounded more like a Mr. Garrison from South Park. Hey, class, today me and Mr. Hat are going to teach you about filmmaking.
Shut up, Cartman. But again, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, on with physics. I've had him on before, so I'm gonna have him on again. Great guy, and looking forward to it. And again, this whole week is gonna be full with people new or returning, and all this other stuff. Again, I try to bring people back when I can, but it, having over 200 people, it's not an easy thing. But just imagine reaching out to 200 people. The followings I had, they weren't done by politics. They weren't done with gaming. They weren't done with snazzy thumbnails or whatever it is. They were just done by talking to people. And I think that can work for just about anyone if you're willing to try. There's that. And of course, Awful Brittany gives a wine glass, and Live Search says, sign us out. I will gladly do so. Again, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with physics. Hope to see you all there. And of course, I end the show with One Day With You by Pogo. And again, have a great night, everyone. And I will see you next time.